Hello 420 fam, your bud tender here. Feeling that midday slump? Need a boost to fuel your hustle or keep your gaming session alive? Look no further. Doobie is here to save the day. Doobie is the energy drink that keeps you focused, energized, and in the zone. Without the jitters or crashes, packed with clean ingredients, it's the perfect blend to power your grind. Whether you're chasing your dreams, crushing levels, or just staying sharp in the daily grind. But here's the best part. It actually tastes amazing. Say goodbye to chalky flavors and say hello to drinks that are as epic as your ambitions. Ready to unleash your potential? Grab your doobie today and use promo code GoodGreensPodcast to get 10% off your order today. That promo code again is GoodGreensPodcast to get 10% off. Go to Doobie and get your energy drink on. Hey 420 fam, ready to elevate your look and feel unstoppable? Let me introduce you to Hair by Sunny, your ultimate destination for stunning styles, vibrant colors, and personalized care. Sunny doesn't just style hair, she creates art. Whether it's a bold transformation, flawless highlights, or that perfect cut, you'll leave that salon feeling like the very best version of yourself. And here's the thing, Sunny's talent is matched only by her dedication to making you shine. So check out Hair by Sunny, Brantford, Ontario. Hey there 420 family. Looking for top tier glassware that's as unique as you are? Let me introduce you to Unicorn Glass Emporium, the ultimate destination for premium bongs, pipes, papers, and accessories. From sleek and modern designs to intricate head-turning masterpieces, Unicorn Glass has something for everyone. Whether you're a casual enthusiast or a connoisseur, their collection will have you feeling like you've discovered a hidden treasure cove. And here's the magic. You get high-quality craftsmanship at prices that won't blow your budget. So why settle for ordinary when you can elevate your vibe with a little unicorn magic? So visit Unicorn Glass Emporium today in Brantford, Ontario.
And $22 a fucking beer. Like, fuck. She really could have just refused that.
Fair.
I would have she could have been like, yo, this beer is $22. I'm not buying you this. I completely understand.
Yeah. All right, let's get this started, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. You humans are tuned into the Good Greens podcast. I am your host and conspiracy junkie, Bud Tender 666. And with me is your co-host, Green Machine.
420.
And joining y'all today is going to be Kush Gupta.
I want to remind everybody today that this podcast is intended for those of legal age in your jurisdiction. And Kush is with us here today. He's the operator over at Unicorn Glass Emporium.
Absolutely. And we also operate Prestige Vapes as well. One of our main locations is located at 671 Colborne Street, Brantford, Ontario. We actually just opened up our second location solely for the vape store at 395 St. Paul Avenue, formerly known as the Vapor's Den, but has now been transformed into a Prestige Vapes. First of all, Justin, I want to start off by thanking both you and Carson for having me on the podcast here today. Love the setup we got going on and really, really appreciate you guys taking the time to take me on and host me here. So, yeah, thanks for all the organization.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
It's way too warm in there.
Hot, right?
Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Maybe not use the mask today so you can freaking breathe. Well, everybody kept saying, wear the mask, wear the mask. So I wore the mask. I lasted, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Officially without the mask on. We usually start off the podcast here with what's on our tray. Today, I guess I'll be starting off with also going into the cultivar of the day. It is the BC Smalls, the Tutti Frutti Country Smalls to be exact. Crunchy Smalls, not country.
That just sounds delicious.
Tutti Frutti Crunchy Smalls. The nuts are small. It's a sexy little sativa dominant flower. The THC is a strong 31%. The CBD I think was 16.5 and the terpenes are definitely like a 2.76.
You hear that? It's sexy.
Very sexy. Like, I don't know, you guys look at the nugs and shit.
Yeah, let me take a
It
look.
smells very lemon and such. I don't know.
Oh my
Right?
God.
It's got a good scent.
What's on your tray over there, Green Machine?
Same thing. These are for us. Same thing that's been on the podcast for the past 3 episodes.
Papaya Power?
Papaya Power.
By Pepe.
By Pepe.
It's that good, he has it 3 weeks in a row.
No, it's not even that. I'm just too broke to get new stuff.
Fair enough.
Happens to us all.
Like I said in the last episode, I'm not too crazy about this Papaya Power. I don't think I'd buy it again. Not enough flavor profile. Too low of a terpene level.
Fair enough. What do you guys want?
Over here, we got some Three Saints Kush cookies. And yeah, I've been enjoying this guy actually. It's not my first time going around with that guy, but I've been loving it so far. It's got a phenomenal strain. Hits phenomenal. It's got a nice strong
I've been trying
flavor.
Three Saints.
I've been trying
I knew you were gonna wear that shirt, so you know I had to
Oh
represent.
man, it was funny because like we had a pop up at my work a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. Three Saints was
Yeah.
down at Gone Garden. So.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. No, they got phenomenal products. Phenomenal
I've
products.
been trying to find myself one of those Three Saints jars.
Oh, true.
They got this new 7-gram milled stuff too called the Mosh Pit.
Oh, interesting.
Really,
I'll
really
take a
high
look
in
at it.
limonene.
Oh,
Really
take a
high
look at it,
limonene.
Do you know where I can buy one of those? The Three Saints jars? That size?
It's the ounce jar,
This
right?
one was highlight.
I like it.
Yeah.
High Life. It's an ounce jar, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I only buy ounces, so
True. Yep. Yeah.
I need my medicine to last me through majority of the month.
Yep. 100%.
So definitely have a little communal Coke.
Pardon me.
We'll have a little communal Coke here. This is where we give everyone a little 10-second countdown to pack a bowl with us.
Oh.
And
So I'm on a timer here.
not necessarily, you don't have to catch up if you don't want to. But,
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me warm up the volcano here.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
take a toke.
We will do our toke.
Yeah.
I'll actually let you start warming up that
Yeah,
volcano.
we got a nice little toy in the house here today. We brought a nice little volcano over from Unicorn Glass, and we wanted to show the boys what this guy functions like.
Let's make sure that that's all on camera.
The volcano is visible in there.
I'm telling you guys, if you guys ever have the opportunity to hit off one of these volcanoes,
It's wild.
do it.
Wild.
They are by far the best vaporizer in the world, in my opinion. And that's coming from someone that really does not like vaporizers.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of vaporizers either. Tried the PAX 3. Tried a lot of different vaporizers on the market.
Volcano seems to have the smoothest hit.
It really does.
Yeah.
And for those in the audience, you may notice I'm smoking a little different for once. Actually living up to the Green Machine name and only smoking green.
About time.
Exactly.
About
About fucking time.
Yeah, so while it's warming up,
We brought some stuff too with me. So some more items from Unicorn Glass. These are some gifts for you guys. We can never kind of go
Thank
short
you.
on lighters, so we bought a bunch of lighters here in case we need some during the podcast. We brought in some raw rolling papers. We got a whole display of them, so if we want to
My
roll up some
favorite
joints
papers.
here,
nice.
we're ready to
We
go.
usually do. We will wind up playing a dice game where one of the rolls is. We haven't been smoking out of the student glass because I gotta clean it. I've been slacking on cleaning that. I've
Yeah,
been lazy.
yeah. It's a process and a half.
So
to clean.
instead, we've been chugging a joint in 30 seconds.
True.
So and I've managed to do it. I've rolled it twice.
In 30
2
seconds?
episodes in 30 seconds.
Holy smokes.
Right down to the filter.
That's
so.
crazy.
But yeah, this is probably the best question of the whole fucking episode. If you could pick one superpower, what would it be and why?
For me, my superpower that I could pick would probably be to read people's minds. And that would be so that I can control a situation better and control the outcome of a situation much better.
That's controlling it better than mine.
I'm very transactional in life, and I'm also all about taking care of people. And so one of the big things for me is how do I maintain being transactional while also making sure the other person's happy. And so I feel like one of those things for me would be to be able to read your mind, so I can tell if I'm upsetting you, or if I'm making you happy, or if I'm just pulling off that salesman energy and just kind of deterring you away. So that'll probably be one of my big superpowers.
I like that. Using it to a good advantage.
Yeah,
Not-
exactly.
Not doing the whole like anti-villain or
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people like the first moment they get that superpower, they're like, okay, it's time to fuck shit up.
Yep, totally, 100%. They try to use it to the, for some reason, it just goes towards the wrong ideas,
Yeah.
right? Before it goes to the goods.
Let's put my input in on this freaking Tutti Frutti.
Yeah,
Right off the fucking bat, taste incredible.
right?
I feel the sweat's coming over.
It's a strong sativa.
It's definitely a strong sativa. And I'm an indica guy, and I could sleep on this. Instantly warm.
Yeah, you kind of feel the happy eyes behind the eyes right away.
All my arms feel very hot and warm.
It's almost like a Fruit Loop flavor.
It is. That's the best I can describe it. It is like a Fruit Loop flavor. I would smoke the fuck out of that.
That's pretty decent actually. What's your favorite strain? Indica, hybrids?
Indica.
Indica?
Yeah, and I have even like a favorite bud. It's GMO cookies.
The GMO
Same.
cookies.
That was my favorite for a while
One of
too, with the GMO cookies.
One of my go-tos.
That was my next
spinach.
question is what's your top three cultivars?
There was one point where I think I went 6 months just buying that stream. Like, the dispensary only stocked it for me, and then you know what sucks is like 4 months after I started buying this tree and I moved from that city. And so they were stocking up on all this bud for me, right? And I was coming in like every week and a half buying this ounce, right? Or 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, like, we'll stock up on it for you. So they picked up like 8 of them this one time, right? Because they didn't really carry the 1 ounce ones, right?
Yeah.
And they picked up 8. And then like, I picked that up over the span of like 3 months or whatever. They brought in more, and then I ended up moving to Brantford this past October. So here we are.
Ask Bud here how long I was buying GMO cookies for. Like,
Almost my entire employment.
No way. From spinach?
yeah, from
True.
spinach.
He's stuck to one for such a long
Yeah,
time.
it's a good streak.
But then all of a sudden, spinach seems to be like dropping their terpene level, dropping
Really?
their percentage.
Even
It
in
just seems to
GMO?
be lighter. But I mean, it could be we've just built such a tolerance to it because we were smoking so much of it.
Yeah.
Like even myself, like
Well,
I would
even
buy,
after I took a break from it for a while,
Lighters?
and then
Let's start with a purple one. I'm gonna do a blue.
There we go.
as I was saying, go back to what I was saying. Even like I took a break from GMO cookies for a while, and then I went back and got an ounce of it.
I can't. My fingers. I have a little numb from playing too much.
And even coming back to it,
Here, you get a few if you want.
I
Thank
freaking
you.
found that
This
it
is
still.
all you guys. You guys keep it all.
Thank you. I still found that it still just didn't hit the same as it used to.
Well, I think that's what it is, though. Is over time we build tolerances to certain cultivars, right?
Yeah.
You said you had 2 other favorite cultivars.
So there was that one, and then there was one from, what was it? It was from Cookies, and I think it was Pink Kush. I think that was the one that was.
Pink Kush.
Yeah, that one was really popular, like just one of my favorites. And then there was another one, it was LA Kush Cake. I forgot which company made that one.
Weed Me Max?
Uh,
Weed Me?
I don't know, honestly, that one was at a point where I didn't really pay attention to more of the companies. And yeah, but LA Kush Cake, that was one of my top ones too.
Those are fucking some actually really decent choices. I definitely will. I mean, those who've watched the podcast know I'm a heavy indica smoker myself.
Yeah, no, all I can do is indica.
It's
it.
actually very rare
Coming
for
from
me.
someone who's been regularly smoking sativas.
It's rare for me to be buying these sativas like this.
In all honesty, it is rare. But
I need to switch it up.
and even I noticed sativas have a better, like a lot of the sativas have a better taste profile.
You just like the lemonies. And
Yeah, I like the
cinnamons
lemonies and stuff like that.
Um,
That's just the kind of stuff I'm into.
what do you
right
enjoy
now.
with cannabis the most?
What do I enjoy with cannabis the most? Being able to use it in an appropriate way to get certain tasks done in my life.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll notice that if I have, let's say, a to-do list full of 50 things I need to do, however, some of them aren't things that need to be done immediately. Some of them are things that either need to be done over the span of the day or over the span of the next couple of days or a few days. I can kind of take that list that I have of 50 things, grab a piece of paper, curate that list and compact it into a list of maybe 10 things that need to be done immediately, and then go take a nice rip of the bong and come back to that curated list that is now ready to be tackled immediately, and I'm able to just go bang, 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 and within 2 hours everything's done. 1 hour everything's complete. So That's one of my big advantages that I
It's
found
like it
with
definitely
cannabis is
helps with time management.
yeah, exactly. Is it can really help me with being able to get things done.
So you think that's like a neurological thing? It helps just kind of slow the thoughts
Yeah,
down.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it depends, right? Is if I'm not organized, then it ruins it. Right? If I don't have something to follow, if I'm not organized, if I go to that list, not with an organized version, but like thinking, oh, what do I have to do right now? What do I have to do right now? Then I kind of start getting lost. I'm like, okay, what do
So
I
you
have
definitely
to do?
like organization.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
organization is a huge one.
It shows. It shows.
It
You
does.
come into your shop. It is very. It's not overwhelming, even though you have a
No.
lot in there.
Yeah.
In such like
It's very organized.
We
retrospect.
tried, we tried
Right, yeah,
that.
retrospect. Like the shop's not a huge shop.
Yep. It's only like 1,500 square feet.
Right, but
Yeah.
you walk in and then it's like. It is like an adult in a candy store.
Yep,
Well,
100%.
There is a lot in there.
100%.
Well, comparing like Crazy Bills, no disrespect to Crazy Bills,
They're a phenomenal
they
shop.
are a crazy. They are a great store.
they're the OG
It-
in
it-
Brantford.
it's just like you go in there. There's so much stuff. You're like, where do I even start?
Begin, right? Yeah.
Like they got food.
Yeah.
Freaking,
And one of the things that we try to focus on compared to a lot of our competitors is we do bulk buy to try and maintain competitive pricing. However, one of the things we'll do differently is instead of displaying 50 pieces of the same product in the same color variation, we'll display one of them, right? Or we'll have two of them, especially the
Yeah.
popular products, right? We
Yeah.
won't keep more than two, at least on the shelf at one time, right? In storage, in the warehouse, or in wherever in the back room, that's a completely different story. But on display, we try to keep our products very limited. So we have a wider variety, but you're not getting overwhelmed by seeing 6 of the same bong, and then you see another 6 of the same bong.
Well, I appreciate that when you first walk into, you don't just get overloaded with glassware right off.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
bat.
exactly,
Shiny shit.
yeah.
At first, it's like you got some clothing.
Yeah.
You got
It's more adult friendly, or
Yeah.
child friendly,
Yeah.
family friendly is the word.
very
Exactly.
much so.
Yeah.
It's like you're walking into a head shop.
Yeah,
You're also
yeah.
walking to a professional head shop, which
Thank
is nice.
Thank you. We really
That's
appreciate
something
it.
that I have appreciated walking is I don't get overwhelmed right away.
Thank you.
And I get overstimulated quickly.
Yep.
same.
No, we have to also give the props to Rock Universe for being able to give us the ground for how we got to operate and structure the business when we took over from them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what inspired you to start the bomb shop?
So I don't even know if you guys know my story. It's a whole crazy story. My journey
No.
here to Edmonton, from Edmonton. I think you know I'm from Edmonton.
I
Right?
do know the Edmonton part.
So
yeah.
I don't even know if you know my age, like if you know how old I am
No.
or when I got into this. It's gonna blow your guys' brains off. But yeah, so I'm only 22 years old. I took this business over when I was 17 years old.
You're younger than me.
And so I moved here completely alone. My parents weren't supportive of the fact that I'm moving to Toronto because of the fact that I was only 17 years old. I was a high school student. COVID had just struck. So the whole
Right.
economy was going into a complete nightmare. No one really knew which businesses are going to survive, which ones aren't.
Yeah.
My family's in the construction business, so they kind of build houses and they do stuff like that. And so their business was kind of starting to struggle, and they were kind of being like, okay, you know what, there might be a little bit of a downfall for the next couple of years, prepare and brace for that. And so when I told them as a grade 12 student that, hey, I want to kind of drop out and move to Toronto to take over a cannabis accessory store, they were not exactly too supportive of the situation.
Mhm.
And then a lot of back and forth, a lot of convincing, a lot of me just kind of being like, you know what, I want to go to Toronto no matter what happens. I'm moving there, I'm taking over these stores. And then I was lucky enough to be an entrepreneur from a very young age back out in Edmonton. So I was
Yeah.
kind of doing a lot of different things, a lot of side hustles. I used to be a DJ, so I actually got
Oh, really?
hired professionally to DJ when I was 13.
What kind of music were you doing?
It was more Indian music, and
Okay.
it was all basically weddings. So I was doing all the
Sweet.
weddings. So I DJ'd. My first event was a high school party, and I still remember it, where I charged like $50 for the event, and I went all out, right? I went all out. I didn't cheap out. That was the one thing that my mom always told me was no matter what you're gonna do in life, always give it your best effort.
Yeah. Oh, fuck,
And so
right,
it was my
yeah.
first event, but I popped off like I was getting paid 10 grand for the event. I took all the speakers, all the lighting, everything. And I was a kid. I was like 12 years old when I got this party, right?
And that's
And-
my dream. That was my
and-
dream.
And so they gave me the opportunity, so I took full advantage of it. And then I think the last event that I DJ'd before I retired, it was definitely well above the $7,000-8,000 figure mark.
That's
And that
amazing.
was at the age of 17. And to be able to do that in the span of 5 years, that was what actually brought me to being able to take over the opportunity here in Toronto. And the main reason was also because Rock Universe was a company founded in 2003. There was another older owner whose name was Harinder Singla. He was super passionate about the industry, and then unfortunately, around the pandemic time, he started kind of not paying too much attention towards the business because he diverted his attention to another business. And so that means that if you don't pay attention to a business, of course, it's gonna go downhill, of course. And so he started selling off all the locations individually. Few people bought 7 stores, few people bought 2, 3 stores, a couple people bought 1. We took over 2 stores. We took over one in Georgetown, Ontario. We took over the one in Brantford, Ontario.
Oh, that's right, Georgetown.
Yes, yeah. A little throwback.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that was shut down about a year and a half ago, and so that was kind of the main inspiration, is the fact that they were around for so long. Bradford Rock Universe was there from 2012, so
Yeah.
super long history behind it. And studying their history and seeing kind of
And it's the same building, right?
Exactly,
So
same
those
building.
used to go to Rock Universe?
We're still here.
Same place.
And we're about to
That's where
actually-
Unicorn Glass is.
We're actually about to do a rebranding. I told you about the rebranding, or I didn't tell you about the rebranding?
Yeah, well, I'll actually get into that later.
Later? Let's
I
do
got
it.
a question
Let's do
about
it.
that, actually.
Sure. I'm
I've
gonna just
never
take a break
seen
quickly.
Rock Studio for how long I've been in this town. For how many times I've been past that business complex.
Yep.
Even like I've never even noticed the Rock Studio.
A Rock Universe?
Rock Universe. Huh. That's cool.
How did you
no?
come up with the name?
So
And the
unfortunately,
concept for the shop?
unfortunately, actually, I didn't come up with the name of Rock, Unicorn Glass Emporium. I actually wanted to name the store from the beginning Kush Universe,
Right.
because of my name, and then I just thought, hey, you know what, it's kind of perfect. I thought it correlated, and then because I come from an Indian heritage, as I said, my parents were not too fond of the fact that I was taking over this business. So up until the last day that I moved, my mom and dad were having fights every day, yelling back and forth that, hey, your son should be moving to Toronto. My mom wasn't supportive of it, but when she realized that I didn't care and I'm going to go no matter what, they had no other choice but to support
I just
it.
have to
right?
say it's ironic. Your given birth name is Kush. Right?
Yeah,
I wanted to
like,
say
oh,
that,
yeah,
like,
K-U-S-H, right? It is
yeah,
crazy, right? It's
like-
just so ironic that this
It's like it's
opportunity came
meant
up.
to be
Exactly.
to run a
Exactly.
It's
cannabis
funny to think the
accessory
parents that
shop.
were so anti-cannabis name
They
their
named
child
it
Kush,
a
right?
top grade cannabis.
Literally,
Yeah.
right? And so, so like my parents are not for it, but then finally I get the green light. I'm like, okay, finally, I'm like gonna go. And then as they're determining the name, I tell them. My dad asks me, he's like, hey, what do you kind of want the name to be? I'm like, oh, Kush Universe. My dad's like, you're gonna put your name on the front of a cannabis business? He's like, do you know what that's gonna do to our family name? One of the big things in the Indian heritage is your family name, right? Making sure that that's preserved and making sure that all the people
It's the
look
honor
at
system,
you.
kind of like Japan's.
Exactly,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
People, when people look at you, how do they view you? Right? The status. That's the whole game. And so when I explained to them that Kush means cannabis, my dad came up to me and was like, dude, you're probably the only person that thinks Kush means cannabis. And I looked at him with like a whoa, you know, like what? And then he was just kind of like, let the adults decide the business name over there, right? So I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll let the old owner decide the name, no problem. Comes back with Unicorn Glass Emporium. At the beginning, I was not the most fond of the name.
How
I
did you
was
come up with it? Do you know where that?
no, he didn't. He just came up with it. He just like genuinely just like came up with it, and I was just like, okay.
Names
like,
in a hat.
yeah, you know,
Names in a
I was
hat.
like, okay. And so I tried to get an understanding for it, right? They said unicorn made no sense to me for that first part. They were just like, that is to just be catchy, right? To catch people's like eyes.
Yeah.
Glass relates to the fact that we were selling glass and bongs and stuff like that. And then Emporium, I guess, was just the fact that it's a big
Fancy
variety,
word for-
right? A big
yeah.
more variety of a lot of glass. And so I wasn't the biggest fan of the name, and it kind of actually deterred me from taking over the business at the first few months.
Really?
Yeah, it actually did. I was kind of a little bit triggered by it. I was kind of like, wow, my mom and dad didn't let me choose this, even though they have no part in it. They didn't even want me to go there or whatever. And then now it's been about 5 years I was operating the business under that name of Unicorn. Now my parents have kind of seen the ups and downs with it. They've seen more what cannabis means. Their ideas on it have changed. Their viewpoints on it have changed. And so now we're finally all on board.
I feel, it wasn't until around the 20s or something like that it was illegal. And I mean, we used it in ancient medicine.
Yep,
And in Bible text too, there's they talk about six different herbs or something like that Jesus used, but one of them they still don't have a proper word for. But then you take the translation over to, I can't remember which version of Chinese.
Yep.
But the writings of that the same word is mentioned, and that word is referred to for cannabis.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Interesting,
I think
yeah.
there's actual cannabis talking even in the Bible, right? In like Christian scriptures. So it's.
I'm gonna fill the volcano up. It might be a little loud here.
Oh, that's okay. There we go. Here's some noise for Green Machine's neighbor.
Fucking cunt. Fucking cunt.
Noise complaints?
Not even that. She like Friday night, listen to my music, have some drinks.
Yeah.
Just having a little party. And she bangs on my fucking floor at 9 o'clock at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not even 11 yet. Fuck off.
Yeah.
She likes everything to be very quiet. She's one of those people that makes the quiet videos.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It's a little rough. Oh, those are beautiful, those things.
There you
I
go.
don't know why, but every time I roll a joint, it rolls into a cone.
You roll nice cones though. They're beautiful.
Yeah, it just started happening like that, and it just kind of stuck.
So here we got the volcano fully puffed up. So I don't know if you guys are familiar,
That
but
is your stuff and the papaya punch.
Nice.
so to hit this guy, just give it a little press on the
On the
valve,
valve.
like that, on the valve,
Yeah.
and you can just inhale, and it just it's beautiful.
That's the 3 saints in there?
Yeah.
Watch that bag with the amber.
Yeah.
I've got
I think
so
I have
many
one bag
bags
left. Yeah, I try to find a fresh one. I don't have any fresh ones. Carson, give it a rip.
So tasty.
Yeah, it's really good.
What's your favorite way to consume cannabis?
Probably the volcano,
The volcano?
100%.
What's your least favorite?
Least favorite would be dabs.
Dabs.
I just feel like there's too much processing. Torch and cap
I
and
feel
this
it's
and
a lot of
that.
work for people. Yeah.
I like the E-dab rigs.
The e-nails are dope.
Yeah,
I haven't had the
e-nails.
opportunity to try one yet.
I just kind of like the science behind it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. You got a point there.
But then again, as you can tell, I'm someone that likes motion bongs. I like things that move and like, which is another reason why I like going to your shop. Is you got a lot of things that I can look at every
Yeah.
time I go there. It always seems to be at least something new.
what I'm talking about is the X Maxes.
Oh, like the Puff Coast style?
Yeah. The Buckle, Peak, Smart Rigs and stuff like that.
Thank you.
No, sure. Yeah.
Are you a wake and bake kind of guy? Midnight toker?
No wake and bakes.
All day
No
chronic
wake
joint?
and bakes.
No wake
Yeah,
and bake?
that's right. No wake and bakes for me. They ruin my mornings pretty.
Do they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
ruin my mornings pretty bad. So I have to try to avoid it in the mornings.
Well, you said you smoke straight indica a lot of the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
So
it's-
in the morning, it just puts you right back to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll usually start at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I'll take one, and then kind of every hour and a half, 2 hours from there.
That tastes so good.
It's insane, right?
Right. Till the moment you go to bed?
An hour before bed.
Yeah.
Usually won't go right before bed. Yeah.
I can't get over how good these are. It's been a long time. Since I sat at, I think it was called the Bulldog in Vancouver. It's a
Yeah.
Smoke lounge.
Yeah. There's days where I'll wake and bake, but those are the days where it's like I'll be like out of the city, you know, like I'm just hanging out. There's nothing for me to do.
Yeah, no work,
Yeah,
no
exactly.
responsibilities.
And even then, it's pretty difficult, man. Like
The last
there's so much.
experience I had with a fucking volcano was a knockoff one.
Oh, true.
Still tasted the same.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did the same thing.
So it's just
It's just like a.
it's just a branding.
yeah,
bro.
it was
That's-
just like just this one costs $80 instead of
$80 is not bad.
700.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But again,
Yeah,
you're
but
still getting better quality.
So
So
I got like these little mini knockoff student glass things now, the Chinese of like midnight.
Yep.
They're small. You can fit a normal glass jar on them. So
Really?
it's like, yeah, they're neat, I guess, if you want to just throw a mason jar on it. But it's like-
Yeah.
I was on the student glass website. They got some killer fucking jars.
They do have some pretty
They're
sick.
sweet.
Yo, they're even like what was the company? I think it's Puffco, Student Glass. These companies are coming out with so many like cool pieces. I heard Puffco is working, I think, with glass blowers to make like chambers and stuff for their Puffco peaks and
That's
stuff,
cool.
which is next. Like it's the
Well,
next level. They're working.
Even Shatterizer, the brand Shatterizer.
Shatterizer's doing
They
something.
make all those pre-rolls and
Yeah,
shit.
Shatterizer's something.
They got some cool little vape devices I saw that one of the reps had out in Toronto on
Interesting.
420.
Interesting.
Like bubble domes on that shit.
Yeah.
They were pretty fucking cool looking actually.
There's a. Have you heard of the brand Collab? there's a pen from Collab.
The
It's
black?
like a, like the little box thing.
the
There's like-
collab project.
Yeah, the project or something. I have a customer.
Pure AIO diamonds.
All
man.
he uses. That's all he buys. Like every time he comes to see me, he has got a new one of those.
We sell it at my work and I call it your shatter rig in your pocket.
Yeah,
That's what that thing is. It's
True.
straight fucking diamonds.
That's
man.
crazy.
And it is so good.
that is wild.
I gotta get speaking of different brands and vaporizers, I really gotta get my hands on one of the Zenko Duos.
Zenko Duos.
It's like it's one of those vaporizer dab
Oh, you can
rigs,
like
but
drink it.
yeah, you drink it.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
How do you personally benefit from weed?
How do I personally
That's a
benefit
good
from
question.
weed? I don't think I have an actual benefit from it. I feel like I'm too young to have a
Well, I
benefit
mean,
from it right now.
you did tell me it helps you with your time
Yeah,
management. so
yeah,
I guess
like
that's
the
one.
time management won't like be like the main thing, but besides that, I'll be honest, I think it's just a recreation.
More recreational, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Like that was also the main reason of like the usage storage. I actually didn't start smoking until I got into the industry. So I used to actually be pretty against cannabis myself until I got into this industry and started learning, right? And then experimented, tried different
Most
things out.
people were.
Yep,
I mean,
100%,
we got
100%.
things like all those PSAs. We did an episode recently, actually, where we showed a bunch of PSAs.
Yeah.
And how they were so silly.
Mm-hmm.
Like one was they're like, oh, you have one puff, and then your little brother's gonna murder you. When your
Dude.
dad's holding you in a headlock. And
I
shit,
got
like,
home that night and I spent
Reefer Madness.
God
ruined a lot
4
of shit.
hours just watching stupid weed PSAs.
Yeah, there was a lot of them just here.
just
in Canada.
laughing my ass off.
Yeah, it's
Like
brutal.
I grew up with a good chunk of these podcasts, and I just completely forgot about them till we watched some of them on that video. I'm like, oh my god, my childhood. This is what they were trying to teach us.
What was your first experience with cannabis?
My
Was it
first
positive or negative?
It was positive.
Positive?
Yeah, it was positive, yeah. First experience. I was kind of blacking out though, but like it was still positive, nothing like bad about it. It's just like I felt like I kept, like my blinks felt very long. That's the best way to put it. Like every time I blinked, it felt like I was closing my eyes for 30 seconds, and then I opened my eyes, and they'd be closed again, you know? Like that's how it felt.
There was an experience I had in my early years of smoking weed. I was sitting with my ex in her little Sunfire.
Yeah.
Hot box for Sunfire across the road from my parents' house. And my kid brother was with us too. I know you don't like me, Jamie, but shout out to you anyways. We were all sitting there getting really stoned, and
Yeah.
it was just weed that her dad grew, nothing weird in it. But like I got overly baked. We took a pop bottle, cut the bottom off it, and glued like a plastic shopping bag to the bottom of it, and then attached an elastic band to it. So after you've brewed the
I know what those
parachute,
are called.
you
Yeah,
can snap it.
parachute.
It's like a slingshot.
Yeah, they're called. I think that's what they're called. I think it's called a slingshot.
Yeah. So we smoked a half ounce of that, the three of us,
Holy
as
smokes.
little kids, right?
Yeah.
Like we were just of age
Yep.
to be driving. And my brother's 5 years younger, so he was definitely nowhere near being old enough to smoke weed yet.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, all my color altered. Like,
Yeah.
my color went so fucked, like
Yeah.
almost like gray tones, but not grays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my younger brother sat there in my parents' house for like almost 2 hours, sitting on top of the stairs singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star"
What
with
the
all my
fuck?
dogs.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, so this was like a really weird experience.
Yeah.
Like, one of the only times that was bad. on
Your
weed.
bro, dude, he was tweaking out on weed.
That's what I mean. So I feel like
like.
there was obviously probably something bad in the weed or something. It's just homegrown, right? I don't know how it was dried. Probably pan dried. Probably
Yeah.
some mold or something. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
That's wild. That's a wild experience for sure.
weed's been pretty positive for me. Like I do got a bummed out left knee
Yeah.
and shit. I refused. Like when I broke my knee, I went to the hospital. They told me I was gonna like need to have surgery and shit. I ran out, and I was living in a punk house at the time, so we just like hodgepodge. We bought a bunch of hodgepodge, that white glue shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of like flour out of the cabinet and a bunch of Elmer school glue and newspaper, and we just cast my fucking leg.
No way.
So now my knee's a little fucked.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
that's metal as fuck
That's
though.
what I did to my left knee, so that's why it's like I walk with a limp sometimes.
Yeah.
So I do smoke cannabis sometimes medicinally, but I always find myself it is recreational.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of times too, I'll be at work and my manager or one of my coworkers will look at me and be like, dude, bruh, have you smoked any weed today?
Yeah, they're like, yo, like, you need to take a break.
Yeah, go have a fucking token,
yeah.
come back in because you're not thinking straight. So I feel like that has become a medicinal thing too because I'm not straight now without it. Like I try and take a tolerance break too and I become a screwball.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's hit and miss with me with that. Were there any challenges breaking into the cannabis industry?
Challenges breaking into the cannabis industry.
Like for you personally, like apart from your the parents.
Yeah. So I got pretty fortunate entering the industry because one of the big things was when we took over Rock Universe and the brand and everything like that. We got a lot of recognition right away because of the fact that Rock Universe was so gigantic and so big and large. There's stores everywhere in Ontario. And so right away, all the suppliers came to us and were like, hey, we'll actually just take the best care you possibly can because of the fact that you were formerly Rock Universe, right?
Right on.
So right away, all the suppliers welcomed us with very, very warm hands, taking care of us in different ways that you can't even imagine, right? Not only are they giving us discounts on goods, but they're making sure that even if we're not ordering the same volume that Rock Universe was once upon a time ordering, we're still getting taken care of the same way that they were. The customer service was phenomenal. The way we were just looked after was overall a phenomenal experience.
That's awesome.
However, if I had to look back at it, if it wasn't for the fact that we were taking over Rock Universe's name, I don't think we would have been as lucky with how easily we were really able to break grounds into the industry and create a name for us the way we have today.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. I mean, yeah, I could see having some struggles if there wasn't a few of those extra connections. Right? It definitely does help
exactly.
in the community.
So that kind of helped us open our doors and be able to get out there a little bit more as a trusted company and corporation. That's not just a new name new company on the block. Right? Even though we were a new company, it was a takeover. Right?
Yeah.
We were trying to carry on and live the same legacy Rock Universe had, but just kind of revamp it and make it better and bring a better experience to all of the customers.
And I say you guys have.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like I said, I didn't know you from a stick in the mud until I started shopping in there.
Yeah.
And I think the first time I went in there, I was in need of a fucking pipe.
Yep.
I was just smoking little pipes.
Yeah.
I didn't need a bong, none of that kind of shit, because I was still buying my bongs from that convenience store.
Yeah.
Great, like. And
Hey, that convenience store had some pretty cool rigs at some point.
It did, but at the end
But
of
they
the
were
day,
cheap quality glass.
They were cheap. They were thin. There was bubbles in the glass. You know.
Yeah.
My son could look at it and be like, "Dad, there's something wrong with your bong."
Yeah. That's when you know
I gotta
there's a
step my
problem.
game up,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it was actually my kid that saw the sign and was like, "What's that?" And we were riding on the city bus to the mall one day.
Yeah.
And I read it and then I Googled it and I was like, "Oh, it's a bong shop." And we went in there like a few days later and I picked up a pipe and shit. So yeah, it made for. It's been some time now. I've been shopping with me for a while now, and it's
3 years, 4 years, or longer?
I met.
Because we've been in it since June 25th, 2020 is when we entered.
Probably shortly after you guys just opened that.
Yeah.
And you realize you
We're
guys were
approaching
like
5 years
thing.
then, yeah.
Shit, yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it's been that long.
No, we appreciate all the support and everything that you've done for
Yeah,
us.
because I moved off to Calgary for like
That's
almost
crazy.
2 years and then came back.
I was in Edmonton,
And like you had opened up
2020.
before we moved to Calgary.
True.
So, and I shopped there. I bought my pipe that I took with me. It was a little silicone Rick and Morty.
Oh, so you went to Calgary while I was here?
Yeah.
And you didn't enjoy Calgary?
It was a lot too much.
Too much in what sense?
Money wise.
Really?
We were living there during the COVID shit too.
True. If you compare it to Ontario, it was still worse.
It's about Ontario's at par now with them. It's the same.
Yeah.
What about Edmonton?
Except work is a little bit harder for some people out there than it is here. It all depends on what you're doing, I think.
What about Edmonton?
Edmonton was where we originally wanted to move to. Just they require everybody to be 20 years old but have 30 years rental experience kind of video, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
I do
that
get what
kind of
you mean.
shit.
I do
So
get
it
what
was
you mean.
just, we spent thousands of dollars moving all of our belongings from here out there in a U-Haul. My wife and kid flew out, and I went out there with somebody in a U-Haul, and we came back with nothing, with like backpacks, kind of like it started from fresh again.
Yeah.
That's how expensive things were. It wasn't that we were like selling all of our shit. We couldn't afford to bring our shit back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. At the time, there was people that were taking mortgages out on their house to pay for their house's electrical bills.
Yeah.
There was
It
like
was a scary time.
there was like a special on like one of those W5s or whatever on TV about it. Like Calgary was like bad.
Yeah. The whole world was in a...
The complex we were living in, there was this big like gun salesman guy.
Yep.
Who ended up like, I can't remember if he offed himself or if he left that night, but the night before I saw him talking to somebody in a black truck and shit. The next day there was SWAT. They had like the tank there and everything. I was live streaming it on my fucking Instagram. I'm surprised they didn't get
That's
shut
crazy.
down.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild out there.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Calgary was bad. Like violent was like, I know Brantford is getting really bad with the homeless, the drug epidemic.
Well-
it's going to turn into another Vancouver.
Well,
Yeah,
Calgary.
yeah. Vancouver's bad.
I'm assuming
Vancouver's
for
on
I
the
lived in Vancouver. It's
True,
Vancouver is what I call home, even though I was born in Peterborough.
Yeah.
Vancouver, East Van specifically is my
Yeah.
home. And
Let's fill this guy up one more time.
yeah,
Speaking of-
Vancouver's bad.
Speaking
No.
of Brentford getting bad, I'm assuming you heard of the stabbing that happened downtown.
I walked outside of my work to witness everything. I saw that night. There was actually a rumor that I'm the one that a woman got thrown down by a cop. I watched it happen. But I showed up to work the next day and my coworker was like, yo, you threw a woman down to the ground face first in concrete? I was like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, 4 people came in and already like told me like, I'm like, wait, what?
You were like, yeah.
Yeah, like 4 people that day were like, yo, bro, what did you do? Like,
Yeah.
I understand if it was like instigated. I was like, I didn't throw no woman.
You were like,
Fuck
I
it.
was like just watching.
I watched it all happen.
So
that's
what
insane.
happened apparently is this guy was fucking with homeless people, and the homeless people stabbed him. That's what I've heard.
A guy got stabbed by a woman, and then another woman, I think, I'm not sure if it was even the same woman, wound up getting thrown down face first into the concrete by a cop, because she swung at the cop. I watched it happen. She swung at the cop. I was standing there with my dog. Because I like walked out of my work and saw the lights. Usually I turn right and walk home, but I saw the lights off to the left, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah. There's a
Wow.
lot of weird shit happens in the city though, and it doesn't hit the papers. Like Shallow Creek, they found that fucking body and tried 3.5 months after Halloween when they claim it was a Halloween decoration in the creek.
That's
Well,
crazy.
water doesn't flow, but
Yeah.
Halloween decorations, most of them flow.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, dangerous times. Back to bomb talk though. What makes a high quality bomb?
What makes a high quality
In your
bomb?
opinion.
In my opinion, not cheaping out on the material. So the thickness would be one of the biggest gauges.
What's your
right?
favorite gauge for glass?
I would say 9 mil.
9 mil?
You can never go
What
wrong.
size? How many feet?
I would say probably around 18 inch. That'd be my sweet spot. 12 inch is good, but 12 inch can sometimes be harsh. It depends on the type of weed you
These
have.
are basically my favorite size.
So that would be a 14 inch right there, and so 14 inch is gonna be probably your most popular,
Yeah.
because it's a little bit taller than a 12.
I find the most dogtail worthy.
Yep. It's a little bit shorter than a 16 or 18 inch, and it's just kind of that sweet spot for a lot of people. So it is one of the more.
My daily driver is usually just a little bit taller than this one.
Yeah.
It's a Genie glass.
Yeah.
I've had it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Got it from a corner store.
Yeah. No, Genie's a long time awaited brand. So.
That there is the die.
I just got this one not too long ago.
True. Marley, yeah. We just Marley just made a huge comeback into the Canadian glass market here. They were they disappeared for a bit.
They
They
did.
went off the market, unfortunately. And then we have a distributor here in Canada that has taken roll and bought out a stake in Marley and taken over their distribution across all North American
Didn't
platforms.
something happen with Raw as well recently?
They beat that lawsuit.
Yeah, Raw is a clean company. They have so much stuff getting
No,
thrown
like
at them.
they had something going on with Clipper and now they're with.
Oh,
Big or
yep.
something.
They had a feud, or I don't know, don't quote me on it, but there was some sort of
Yeah.
something going on between Bic Clipper and Raw, and Clipper took, I guess, basically the partnership away from Raw, or either Raw took it away from Clipper, and now Raw is working with Bic lighters instead of Clipper, and Clipper is now working exactly. So Clipper,
I've had this thing for like 5 years already.
crazy, yeah. So now Clipper's working with Zigzag. So all the Clippers you see in the market that are going to be branded by a paper brand are going to be Zigzag Clippers, no longer Raw. So any Raw Clippers that you find out there, it's a collectible. Hold it, don't use it. Put it in a time machine box.
I got like 3 of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Raw fan.
Yeah,
And a Clipper fan, so.
An authentic one.
I think somewhere floating around too. I have like a Raw shirt that has a little Clipper tag on it, like stitched down on the side.
Oh,
like
true.
One of those little collab shirts.
Yeah.
I need to find that.
Yeah.
Tuck that away.
100%. Tuck it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these things go up in value like crazy.
Right. Yeah. It's insane how much like the industry has changed over the years too.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's.
And then some of the other things to go back to that question of what makes it a quality bong is just ensuring that the glass is a high quality glass, right? So obviously borosilicate glass is going to be borosilicate glass. However, the way it's manufactured and is put into its form still matters, right? It's the same way of how the bong is produced into its final shape.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you think the shape of the bong makes a difference?
That's personal preference.
I think
feel
it
like
does.
I feel like it really depends. Of course, the shape
I feel
is
it
going to
changes
give you.
airflow.
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
the different shapes, the percolators, all these different additions to the bong will change the way the bong functions and the way it hits and all those different types of things. But as for one being better than the other, I feel like the most popular is, of course, the classic beaker.
Yeah.
Can't go
But
wrong.
then, yeah, correct. But then it just kind of comes down to, people wanting to be a little bit spicy and fancy and kind of changing things up.
Like prime example is Steamboat Willie.
Right over here, right? So this guy's a dope piece.
Yeah.
But like, on the point of the
I have
durability,
I'm at least 4 ounces deep into that.
Into
thing.
that one, wow.
I
It's
just
not
feel
looking
like-
bad for that.
I
4
I
ounces.
keep them
You
clean.
keep it
Yeah.
clean, yeah. There
I
you go.
clean them once a week.
I just feel
okay,
like
good,
something
yeah.
like this would be way more fragile than, a beaker.
Of course, yeah, of course. It's harder to produce pieces like that in
Mm.
9mm.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible unless you put so much time into them, which is why then a lot of those products become so expensive.
Yeah.
But this piece, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're selling it in our store for $79.99 or
That's a good price.
$89.99.
I think so, yeah. It was a decent
Somewhere
price.
around
That's why I picked it up.
Yeah, and then I
It was
think
like-
I think that day you picked it up, there was a deal on it or something, and you got a good price.
Well,
and,
you're one of our sponsors, so you help us
we're
out
always
quite
taking
well.
we're
so-
always taking care of you and doing our best. So we appreciate the support and everything.
What are some of the most unique or unusual pieces you've sold?
Some of the most unique and unusual. There was a bong. It was silicone. It looks like a dildo. I think we still have some
Big
on our
bongs.
bongs.
Yeah.
Those guys were some of the most. Those were the most interesting ones I think I've ever
I'd say
had.
your most unique one, in my opinion, would have to be the AK bombs.
The AKs are unique as well. Those I honestly completely forgot we even brought those in. That's how new they are. But those are
You got
sick.
some
I still gotta
dab
come in
rigs
and get one to grab one of those.
Some
Yeah,
of
100%. They come with a stand too.
those- Some of those dab rigs look like they should be on like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Mythbusters.
You should use them, as like a science project.
Yeah,
right?
they're
yeah.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, there are
Fuck it.
some wild pieces.
I
yeah.
mean, even just like the bowl piece.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that bowl piece is way
You have them in like 6 different colors or something.
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot of colors. Yeah,
I mean, and
It gives
it's,
off Mario vibes.
Yeah.
Like
We-
chomp plants.
yeah.
at my work, we sold a bong that was beautifully, like, a lot of it's hand blown. There was like a coin inside up at the mouthpiece.
No
There's a
way.
splash guard
Yeah,
and like all this stuff. But then the bowl piece that they sold was like a standard looking bowl
Yeah,
piece.
like
I'm
one of
why
those
the fuck would
$5
you do that?
pieces,
Such
yeah.
a beautiful piece
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
garbage
the
out.
bowl on the bowl.
At least give a bowl like this. or
Which in my
something.
opinion, bowl pieces, well, people are very picky about.
That's
right?
one of the most important things, right? The
So, like,
stem
what-
and the bowl.
Exactly what makes a good bowl piece.
Yeah, so-
Because I mean, obviously, this is obviously not the best bowl piece
Yeah.
because there's a lot of delicate pieces on it.
Totally,
right? It's
totally.
more of
Well,
a showpiece
okay.
for
Yeah.
me.
In my opinion on that, on like what makes a good bowl, it definitely needs to be strong because a lot of people are dropping their bowls is a very common
Okay,
thing.
these right here.
Yeah.
What do you feel is a better make?
The one that's not blue.
The round bagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason being is the handle won't. It's less likely to break off.
Yeah.
The tab will snap off. It can literally get caked up and rezzed up, and you can pull it right off.
Yeah.
I've had that happen.
With that, yeah.
One little knock on these little on those little things and
This
it's
is
gone.
Yeah.
That came with that bong.
The
It's
the
still-
blue one. Yeah.
This here, yeah, came on that one
Yeah.
there. But I don't know, I'm careful with my glass.
Yeah.
I have a
Take care
respect
of it.
for I have a respect for glass because it's I know somebody that works out at like the Red Eye factory.
Okay, true.
Van,
True.
and it's I remember when he used to sit there on the street with me.
Does he work at the Red Eye factory or works
Yes,
at like
at the factory.
in Vancouver?
Yeah.
So they make their glass in Vancouver?
Some, yeah.
Because I
and,
thought most of their glass was imported, just like regular China glass. Yeah.
He but this kid, he used to sit on the side of the street with a torch like a meth head, and he'd
Yep.
be blowing glass for
No
money
way,
on the side of
really?
the street.
That's
That's how he
crazy.
tried to make his money,
And now he's in Red Eye.
and that's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
That's
It's lots of people from all different makes of the world come into the cannabis industry, and that's why it always confused me that so many people used to shit on us.
Yeah.
Right? Consider like we have crazy huge doctors with PhDs out the fucking wazoo that have never partaken in cannabis once in their entire life, but are very, very pro cannabis. Like the movie The Culture High, they go into that a lot. People that have like gone to prison and shit and stuff like that for medicating their children when big pharma hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
Where cannabis has worked miracle wonders, like it's some kind of voodoo magic. Like
Yeah.
so it's just it really pisses me off the stigmas that we have.
I wonder whatever happened, like, if all these people that were arrested on like a misdemeanor weed charge for, you know, like smoking a joint in public or like having like a small amount on them. Imagine it being you getting arrested the day before it gets legalized on some petty weed charge. And then it gets legalized. Like, I'm curious, will like all those petty weed charge people even get released? Because now it would be made legal.
Dude,
That's a good debate.
I
I think there's people, sorry to cut you off, still fighting that problem.
Yeah, I won't mention names, but I do have a family member. He's one of my uncles or great uncles, allegedly. But he had federal charges that were all cannabis related. It's because it was cannabis charges over time, kept repeating. He'd go in like recidivism, but just cannabis.
Yeah.
And then the last charge he had was big. There was a lot of cannabis. It was a long distance traffic. He had a drawn map, so there was a route so they could hit him with.
Yeah.
And everything was already weighed up into like little dime bags and everything. So everything was pre-scaled. So back in the day, they could hit you for trafficking, intent to sell, all that shit, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
He still sits doing time. But when we had Trudeau in power, did he not say that there's nobody sitting federally with
Weed
Cannabis,
charges?
yeah.
So it's, you know, it just, as Peter Griffin said, it grinds my gears. You know, to hear things like that because
It really does.
Have you noticed any design or usage trends recently?
Rick and Morty's on everything.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah,
if
we
you
were
noticed
discussing
that.
that. That's why I
That's
wound up
on-
making my
It's been on everything since like
A while now, before the pandemic.
Yes, it's like
What was it before?
Before that, I
do you
don't
remember?
really
Oh,
know.
I noticed
It's-
it was like SpongeBob and shit.
It's like a
I think
Mandela
Simpsons
effect.
was, I think Simpsons was a big
Simpson.
one.
There was Simpsons. I noticed a lot like in the corner stores. Simpsons, SpongeBob.
Cheech and Chong was a big one.
There's a lot of people just mention Simpsons and Cheech and Chong. This
Cheech
is a
and Chong was a
conversation
really
we had
big one
over and over.
before, yeah.
But I
Red Eye
I
Glass
feel-
was big before too.
I feel like we had a lot more. It's just like that weird Mandela effect. Now it's just like, no, guys, we've always had this.
Yeah.
It's always just been Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
it's-
which is not true. That's definitely
No.
And it's just being flooded on too many products now.
It really
It's getting
is.
overwhelming. But and they're starting to switch it up and you produce different products to try. So
Yeah.
hopefully we see a bigger flush of them on the market soon.
How do you source your products? Do you
But we
work
source
with
our products.
local
so,
artists or
So
manufacturers?
we do a lot of work with all our local artists here. We do a lot of support with all the hand blown artists. We try to
Fuck
buy
yeah.
as much hand blown glasses as we possibly can. And then we also primarily source all our inventory from local suppliers. There are some mega suppliers in this industry that are pretty much locally based, just like any other country. Most of those distributors are importing everything though. 99% of the goods are still, at the end of the day, coming from China. So majority of the goods are just primarily being imported. And then we do a little bit of distribution ourselves where we distribute some certain products that may even be in our own store or that may not be in our store. Usually they are in our store because if we're distributing it to other stores, we'll distribute it to ourselves as well.
Okay,
Yeah. We actually had another gift for you guys too, because we're also in the vaping business here. Brought you guys some vapes.
Oh,
Brought you guys a bunch of vapes here. We got some pop boxes. These guys are an OG device from a few years ago here. And so we got grape ice, we got blue raz, and we got banana ice. Yeah. There's a banana ice.
Thank you.
Banana ice. Nice.
There's a nice blue
That's
raz.
a morning vape right there.
Yeah. As someone who vapes a lot, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Here's a blue raz one for you.
Thank you.
Blue raz
Congrats,
one.
thank you.
Of course.
Mesh coil too, nice.
Yeah. Mesh coil, 3,500 puffs, rechargeable, micro USB,
I remember these.
and then a grape ice. Last but not least,
Thank you.
here you are, Justin.
Thank you.
I'm going to try a
So yeah, the pop box is a popular device. These guys are available at Prestige Vapes, both locations. These guys fire for a price of, they're actually 50% off right now. So regular
There you
price,
go.
these guys go for $26. Right now they're on sale for 50% off, which makes them about $14.69 taxes in. And if you buy 3 of them, we have a deal which is 3 for $30. So $10 a pop, Prestige
How
Vapes,
can you go wrong with that?
guaranteed
people?
best prices.
That is amazing prices. Legit. I don't know how you can go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a dice game.
Yeah, tell me about it. How does
So-
this work?
If you roll a 1, you gotta smoke a pipe load.
Okay.
We do have a pipe somewhere.
Smell that.
Ironically, it is, yeah, as soon as you crack these open, you can smell them. They are very fresh smelling. They hit very smoothly.
Yeah?
Right off the first hit.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you roll a 1, it's a pipe load.
Okay.
You roll a 2, you gotta smoke a bong. If you roll a 3, you choose a victim, and they gotta double whatever they roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If it's a 4, what was it? 2 pipe loads. If it's a 5, 2 bong loads. If it's a
Holy
6,
smokes.
you gotta chug a joint.
Holy
Yeah,
smokes.
we've only made it through, I think, a maximum of 3 rounds in this game total.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is
So
crazy.
it used to be like hitting the student glass.
Yeah. That's crazy. Holy smokes.
I like these. Brings me back like when I first started vaping.
Yeah. These
The
are
older school flavors.
exactly. The OGs.
Yeah,
They've sweetened them up a lot over time.
They're decent.
they are.
So yeah, you guys got a whole stock of them here.
Well, thank you.
Took good care of you guys. Make
Thank
sure
you.
you guys use them responsibly.
Always.
Always big responsible
Not
guys.
for minors.
Stay hydrated.
Remember, this episode is intended for those of legal age. So, you're seeing these YouTube, you can't fuck us in the ass. How do you handle legal and regulatory issues around selling the cannabis accessories?
So the main thing is making sure that we're selling the right products under the roof. So like if we're gonna sell, example, tobacco products under the same house or under the same roof, make sure we have the right licenses and all the right registrations and everything in place.
Yeah, I think we had this talk the other
yeah,
day. It was
so-
the wall and stuff like
Exactly.
that.
So even going to the vape store, that's why we had to create a separate entrance. So
Yeah.
basically, we took our 1,500 square foot facility we have. We put a little wall to separate a portion of about 300 square feet, 250 square feet. It's create a separate entrance. It's actually called a vestibule type of operation.
Yes.
And so we put 2 doors to separate each kind of location, and that was what allowed us to be able to now operate the vape store that's
If you
located
go back
inside
to the
here in
420 videos we had, sorry to interrupt, you will see the entrance and stuff, how you guys have it set up.
Exactly. And
I noticed
so
a lot of like vape shops are doing that.
yeah. Convenience stores
Yeah.
are kind of adding the vape stores, or head shops. The way we are doing it, are adding a vape store, and so just making sure that we're following all the right rules of what products we can't carry, what we can carry, making sure all the kids are ID'd, right? Making sure that everyone
Yeah.
comes in,
Yeah.
everyone's got their IDs on, especially for the vape portion. That's the portion where we just can't play any games.
Oh, on that topic, me and Bud Tender, I will not say the name of the vape store. We watched a parent go in with his kid
With his kid.
and buy him a vape and hand the kid the vape right in front of the clerk.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, dude.
Kids walking
It
out of the
was-
store puffing the thing. Kid's like 10 years old.
Yeah, like if the parent buys it, it's different, but like not in the store, you know? Like,
He
No,
bought it for the kid
that's
though,
terrible.
and then hands it
That's
to the kid
terrible.
right in front of the clerk.
That's not good.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. If you're gonna smoke shit and whatever, you're curious kids, I get it. I
Like,
fucking get it. But
yeah,
at the same
yeah, when I
time, a
started
responsible parent should be
Mhm.
like, "Here, Billy."
Yeah, like right in the store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Take it home, you know, be responsible.
They were
Yes.
driving. Wait till you get in your fucking
Yeah,
car.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. You're gonna ruin the business for
exactly.
business, yeah.
Like, hell, like, yeah, when I started vaping, I wasn't of age.
Yeah.
But I sent my mom to go get the vape. I didn't, because like, I couldn't even go in
Allegedly.
the vape shop.
Yeah.
Allegedly, mama.
No, she was helping me quit smoking.
Oh,
So-
there you go.
I really wanted to quit smoking cigarettes, and I needed an alternative. So she picked me up a really cheap vape from shout out Vape Nation.
Big Nation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Vape Nation's a phenomenal store. They're they're a very good vape shop. Just like the Vapors Den, one of the OGs
Mhm.
down in the West Brand. And yeah, they're definitely someone that we are inspired by and look up to.
Yeah, I was going there for a while when I lived down there.
Yeah. No, they're amazing people down there. They take good care of their people.
They do.
Very good company. Yeah.
Let's get you to roll the dice.
Let's do
We
it.
always
Yeah.
get the guest to start.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So we got a 4.
4.
What
What is
is
that?
that?
That'll be.
Is that a double?
That's 2 pipe.
Holy
balls.
smokes.
Oh,
I don't
I
know if
thought
I
I
can
grabbed
do
the
2.
pipe already. And I apologize. It's another Rick and Morty and it's
There we
just
go.
Swifty.
Honestly though, it's a really nice quality pipe.
I got it from his shop.
Nice little pick.
Oh yeah, this is from us.
Yep.
And we got the Toker Poker too.
I said,
Freaking-
listen to this chair every time you sit on it. Or every guest that's used it is
I
called
got the
a
whoopee
whoopee
cushion
cushion.
shape.
I'm gonna just take some smaller rips here.
Yeah, the intention is not to make people greener. The intention is
Yeah.
to show the effects of cannabis.
Exactly.
On the topic of Toger Pokers, took them forever to finally make them for clippers.
Yeah, it took a while.
I just
And
saw-
most stores don't carry them. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a
'Cause,
widely
like,
carried.
I've noticed a lot more stoners
Yeah.
like to use the clipper
Yeah.
instead of a Bic.
Yeah.
Simply for the fact that you got that small
Yeah.
flame when it's upright, then it goes a little bit bigger when you tilt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got the poker in there, the built-in
Did
scraper.
you have hemp?
Oh, I did. I must have thrown it out.
No, all good. Don't stress.
Bollocks.
Cheers.
That reminds me, I gotta restock.
When I don't
mine
have
real
hemp
quick.
wick, I take rolling paper and fucking string it up.
Well, raw papers are made out of hemp,
Yeah.
so
Just
that would
twist
work.
it up, yeah. They burn a lot quicker, obviously, but you know, you can jimmy rig it. I've watched enough Trailer Park Boys. That's one of the things that inspired me to make this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
Was Joe Rogan and the Trailer Park Boys.
Joe Rogan's got the same podcast. He's besides obviously the green.
It throws me off. My son will come to me being like, "Dad, did you see this?" And he starts talking to me about something. I'm like, "Wait a second. Where did you hear this?" And he's like, "Oh, wait, it was on today's episode on Joe Rogan."
Yeah.
He says he's watching more Rogan than I
You
do.
are, yeah.
I'm like, God damn, but at least he's being educated because our school systems aren't doing it.
For real, yeah, for real.
Right.
Yeah.
So I believe that's why we do need more people doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
They don't have to be for entertainment and jokes and shit like this one here. Like we're just for, talking about cannabis, letting musicians and
Yep.
store owners and things like that come on and just
100%.
have fun. Right?
100%.
But at the same time, we need people getting on there, pulling in bigger names. Like if we could pull on some scientists or things like that, I'd love
Yeah.
to have them on.
Yeah.
They don't have to smoke weed.
Totally.
No,
This just gets people open and talking a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
I'd love to have like a government grower, someone that works in the government industry, like preferably like a government grower.
I'd love to have a police officer come and sit in.
Well, nowadays,
There you
I
Straight up.
can count at least 5 police officers that I've
Like,
seen
straight
smoking
Cheers.
weed.
Second one.
Because I would love to talk to I want a police officer that's been there pre and post legalization.
Yeah,
That's who I want to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
I think that would be nice.
it'd be
to
nice.
see.
It'd be kind of cool to have an officer on here that's actually made some
And then I
cannabis
also
related arrests.
I also want people on to get some people in that don't agree with cannabis.
Yeah,
that would
definitely.
be
Have
some
some
really nice
controversy, right?
conversations.
See, not even just controversy, but understand.
Meanwhile,
their
we're over here
perspective.
freaking
Yeah.
smoking cannabis. They're like,
Oh, I don't even gotta smoke cannabis that episode if they're not comfortable with that. It would be one of those like, because I want their perspective.
Exactly.
I want like a nice healthy conversation. I can do that. I know some people can't. Some people might not be able to sit in on it, but you know, it's something that I could definitely fucking do.
Yeah.
I can do it. Roll. Fuck yeah. Where's the dice? Right there. Thank you. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
No worries.
One.
Rolls a one. Just a single pipe.
Single pipe.
Winner, winner.
Have you been stigmatized for working in the cannabis industry?
Elaborate on that question. Help me understand it more.
Like people hear stigmatism about like, you know, smokers are potheads, they're lazy, they're fucking.
I haven't received it yet.
No way.
Yeah, no, I haven't received that yet. I feel like I try to be very professional with the way I approach things.
Because I know as a bud tender, people walk in there like, oh, the classic potheads.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
they expect me to be a fucking.
Definitely. I feel like I have people coming into my store, they're like, do you smoke? I'm like, bro. Like, of course I fucking smoke. I'm like, my name's Kush. Like, what? Like, I own a bomb store and no, I don't smoke. Never smoke. You know? But
If you didn't smoke, that would have really thrown me off.
Yeah, that would be, you know, imagine I pulled up to him like, actually, I don't smoke weed. You know,
yeah, today's
well,
a dry episode.
Yeah, today I would prefer if you guys didn't smoke.
Well,
either. Actually, you know.
Thank you for bringing the lighters in today because my flint just ran out.
There we go. Another one here?
No, I got my blue one.
What's your approach to marketing?
My approach to marketing, everything, and we go hard. So, one thing that I learned in the last 5 years of being in business, strictly in the last year specifically, marketing is everything. Right? How you market yourself and put yourself out there is going to be the number one way that people are going to see your business. And the biggest piece of advice that I have for marketing would be word of mouth. So, don't focus on outdoor marketing until you've mastered your in-store marketing. So what that means is your in-store signage, making sure that when your customers come in, how are they greeted, how are they taken care of, how's your inventory stored and displayed, and how clean is your store, and the way you take care of your customers, right?
Yeah.
And once that's built, people will start sending people to your store, right? And once people start sending people to your store, then you start building more of just a cash flow, a positive cash flow business.
Yep.
And then you can start thinking about allocating some of those resources to figure out, hey, how do I now go from gaining the word of mouth customers to gaining new regulars and random customers just driving down the street every day? And that's when you start going into signage and you start going into billboards and you start going into advertising with, example, radio stations or TV commercials or just lots of different
Have you
ways.
paid for any of those yet? Like
Radio. We haven't done TV. We did radio a while back. We didn't find too much of a positive feed for us on that one.
A lot of people don't listen to radio stations as much.
It's starting to tune out.
Yeah.
It's starting to tune out.
Have you ever thought about running like a YouTube advertisement?
We have thought about it. It's definitely something that as we scale, we're going to be looking into these things.
Trust me, I definitely rather have a unicorn glass ad interrupt my video than some freaking bullshit.
That would be sick.
Vampers. Like, the amount of times I'm sitting there listening.
Dude,
to
half
stuff
my
on YouTube
ads,
and
half my ads aren't even in English.
That would be sick. So
Half of them are in French or in Mexican.
Yeah.
So something we've been thinking about recently is, I don't know if you guys know who the Edmonton Oilers are, the hockey team.
Yep.
Obviously, go Leafs go. We all know the thing tonight. But also got to give a shout out to the Edmonton Oilers. I am a diehard Oilers fan, so I'll always represent for the Oilers because I was born and raised in Edmonton. And so they do have a game tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights, an opportunity to eliminate them.
I hope they eliminate them.
I hope so
That
too.
is a team that came in and I believe they bought their way to victory.
Me too, right? It was and they just won the
that
cup.
shit
You know?
doesn't
It was like,
happen.
what? You know?
Yeah.
So a lot of money involved in this world right now.
Let's be honest. Football and basketball and shit was bought out and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a reason they had the lockout with the NHL and stuff. I think some real scabby shit was going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we got the Vegas Knights and boom, we're just going to give them the cup. And, they just got some star players out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like just out of the blue, you know?
Yeah.
And
you see them playing against other teams and these teams are, pulling swings like Tyson versus fucking what's his name there, right?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of it leaves me a little fucked up.
100%. But yeah, so Oilers are kind of
Jesus
the.
Christ!
the
God damn it, Ricky!
I lost my train of thought.
That how
Oilers.
that all happened?
The Leafs are playing tonight,
The
but I
Leafs.
did ask you your approach to marketing.
Yeah, it was the approach to
What'd
marketing.
she give her an answer for?
And we were just talking about the Oilers, and yeah, so that's what we were gonna say. It's just basically one of the things we want to try to do is, you know, the Brantford Bulldogs, the hockey
Yes.
team,
I've been to all
So-
their games.
right? So recently, one of our players from the Edmonton Oilers, his name is Zach Hyman. He actually used to play for the Leafs. Funny enough,
No
so he played for the Leafs. I want to say 3-4 years back. One of you guys' star players. Like he was a great player. Got traded to Oilers. Now he's a star player for Oilers. He's like one of our best players that we have. And he recently bought the Brantford Bulldogs, and he now acquired them
Oh,
and
shit.
owns them.
Yeah.
And so I got in touch with him, and so we have a little bit of a relationship that we're trying to cook up here. We're thinking about doing some sponsorships with the Brantford Bulldogs and doing some promotions. We have to figure out a way to make it, you know, friendly, because obviously one of the businesses is a vape business and the other one's a
Yeah.
cannabis business. So we have to figure out how to make these more age appropriate for the hockey games.
Understandable.
But that's something that we're in the talks with Mr. Hyman, is to figure out how we can do some marketing with the Brantford Bulldogs. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just shout out to Mr. Hyman.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Go
last
get a
name.
goal tonight for us.
Makes me wonder sometimes when you hear like some people's last names, like the original person that picked that last name. Like mine's Quackenbush.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Who the fuck is sitting there in the right moment? Quackenbush seems like a good last name, guys.
For real, yeah.
You know, or you hear things like Zitman.
yeah. Yeah.
I saw a gravestone. I feel bad for the guy. I was just riding through the graveyard. Poor bastard was named Harry Balls.
Oh, I think I've heard a name like that.
I felt
BBAHL.
I felt so bad for the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. I like those little memes you see when they start like finding people's names and playing the songs to their name and the people don't understand.
Yeah,
They get so mad. Who's your typical customer, and has that changed over time?
Who's our typical customer?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of regulars. Justin, you're one of the very, very common regulars that we're seeing all the time, and that's part of the reason why we're still alive and able to do what we're doing today. And then a lot of new customers. We see a lot of new faces in daily, right? We have so many people driving by Colborne Street. It's a very visited street from a lot of
It's a
tourists.
busy
Yeah.
street.
It is, yeah. And we're right next to the surplus, right? So we gotta give a huge shout out to the
Yeah.
surplus. They bring us a lot of foot traffic. Right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
That's how I give people directions
Yeah,
to
just-
your place. I'm like, if you guys know where Bright Surplus is,
Big
go.
yellow building.
I'm like,
Yeah, literally.
I'm like, you guys
Yeah.
know the breakfast joint you've probably eaten at?
Right next to it. We're
Shout out to
neighbors.
them. Hands
Oh,
down, best
breakfast.
breakfast
Yeah.
in fucking Southern Ontario.
Still have not gone there.
It reminds me of Bonds off Broadway in Vancouver.
Yeah, no, their food's phenomenal.
I'll have to check them out.
Insanely
Yeah.
good. And the girls in there are so sweet.
Yeah, it's a all family run business.
Yeah, their
They
dad
take-
is a hard-working fucking
Oh yeah,
man.
oh yeah.
And he's
grind.
not just a cook, he
Yeah.
has other shit that he does.
Oh yeah, oh
He's
yeah.
a busy fucking man.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on his plate.
But yeah,
so.
what I was saying is that's how I tell people, I'm like, you know what Bright Surplus is? That beautiful little restaurant there? Go right next door.
I appreciate that. Brother.
So, you know, every time I'm out to breakfast, I stop in too because it's perfect.
yeah,
It's super convenient. You know, it's a good look. It's a good spot. Like I mean, well,
It's
the
a good
bar, the
location.
barber used to be there.
yeah,
You used
yeah.
to be able to go get your hair cut, get all your camping shit and everything else from Brand Surplus, get all your smokables.
Yeah.
Go down the road, visit
I mean,
shop
hell.
there if you need. Like
A good bong goes camping, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Good bong and a bonfire.
yeah, exactly. We're all getting bong rips here, or pipe rips.
Yeah, even
Apparently.
that. Oh, just a good joint. Just a nice big joint.
Yeah.
Was owning a bong shop always a goal of yours, or was there something else you aspired?
Truthfully speaking, my main focus in life was just to be an entrepreneur. Because I was born into a family of entrepreneurs, it was just always a focus that, hey, no matter what I do, I wanted to be transactional. And
Okay.
I didn't want to, like, necessarily... it wasn't that I didn't want to get an education. It was more so I didn't want to sit a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
It was just kind of something that my brain had to be busy. You know, I had to be doing new things. I have to be taking risks and kind of just challenging myself. Otherwise, I get very bored very quickly.
I get that. Yeah.
So it wasn't more so that I was focused on cannabis or I was focused on something. I just kind of followed what was given to me as an opportunity, and any opportunity I'm usually given, I take it with just full heart and I try to
You're just
embrace
super
it.
business
I just
motivated,
try to
you know,
embrace it,
amazing.
and I'll try to pivot with whatever I'm given, right? Whatever I have to, where I have to turn, and all those types of things, and I'll make sure that that no matter what it is, I just give it my all.
I had to mature into that. I wasn't always like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm very like business driven now. Like
Yeah.
obviously I started this business and like, you know, I got the tattoo stuff on
Yeah.
the side. I used to sell cannabis illegally, which was my own business back
Yeah.
before it became legal, right?
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, no, I was very fortunate. One of the things, it sucked, but I was fortunate for it because now that I'm in business, looking back at it, I wouldn't change a thing of it.
Yeah.
I was the youngest in the family, so all my cousins and everything. I was the youngest by about 8 years, which was my sister. She was the next youngest, and even her, she was 8 years older than me. And then all my cousins, everyone was 10, 12, 15 years older than me. My dad had 12 brothers. So I had a huge family. Even my mom's side, there was 5 brothers, like 2, 3 sisters. So it was a humongous family. And then in Edmonton, my dad had like 5 of his brothers there. The rest of them were all in India and everything.
shit.
So all my cousins, everyone I grew up around, they were all in business. So I remember being 4 or 5 years old, sitting at the table. I had no friends. I had no one to talk to. And all I would listen to is these people talking about, oh, I'm selling houses like this. We're building this project.
Just
we're
talking.
doing this. Exactly.
Yeah,
Just
the
talking that, right? And so, and every time I would interrupt, I would get, we're in an important conversation.
Right.
Pay attention, And I'm like 4 years old listening to these guys talking about these deals about land, and I'm just like, dude, like, I hate my life.
So
right?
being so young then, I guess I could change my question from earlier. Are you stigmatized as being such a young business owner within the community with like obviously other business owners that are
Definitely in the early stages, like when I used to have that other location in Georgetown, and then when I shut it down, I got a lot of that feedback of like, oh, like I wasn't surprised he shut down. He was too young, like he couldn't. A kid that age cannot run a business. What are his parents thinking,
right?
And then now that I would just open a new location. Everyone all of a sudden was like, oh, like you're just gonna, like. But the thing is that's the part of business, right? Is being able to pivot and being able to change direction and adapting with change and adapting with what's given to you and just taking it, right? And being happy with it
You
and
need
loving
shit
it.
when it's fed to you.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And when you're down, it's a baby, right? It's just like a kid. You have to feed it no matter what it does to you, no matter how much it beats you down. You have to still feed it at the end of the day, right? Take care of it and love it. And that's what I feel like allowed us to be able to pivot from shutting down that location to now opening that location. And I can't say too much about it. However, we are opening another location right now, and that one's going to be out in Ottawa. So we're taking a little bit of a different approach. Yeah, so we're going franchise model right
In
now.
the capital.
Yeah, so we're going to be going out there. And then some of the future plans are in the next couple of years. Once we have a few more locations in the Brantford region, we want to try and open a location out in Edmonton, closer to my family, and try to see if we can start. Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to see if we can expand out there while maintaining what we have in the Ontario market, all at the same time expand.
I can see you guys doing well somewhere in the BC region too.
BC would be something that's on the next target as well.
I wouldn't do right in Vancouver.
Yeah,
I
Vancouver's
would do somewhere like more
in the suburbs.
And like I would even go like Okanagan region,
Sure,
Sunshine Valley,
yeah.
somewhere like one of the smaller farm towns that need something out
Yep,
there.
exactly. Yep.
Right? Because like the cannabis culture is huge out there. But
Yeah.
they gotta travel into the city to get
Yeah,
these things. So why not
exactly.
give them something,
Exactly.
right?
And we have such a perfected craft in the bong store side. Like that's one thing I love about our bong store is now my vision on opening a bong store. When I see so many head shops, I'm just like, dude, like I just have such a different vision. Like if I'm gonna open a head shop, it's gotta be proper, right? It's gotta have all the right cabinetry. It's gotta have the t-shirts. It's gotta have the jewelry, the posters, the stickers. It's gotta have the hippie related items. But at the same time, I look at it as I don't want just 100 bongs on my shelf. We have 700 bongs on our shelf.
Jesus.
Right? 600 bongs on our
Yeah.
shelf, right? We have 300 grinders in a
I was
cabinet.
gonna say like walking in your shop is like an EDM song. You walk in,
Yeah.
there's a build up,
Yeah.
And then bass
and then as
drum.
you're walking around and then you
Yeah,
you walk out
exactly.
again.
Yeah,
it's-
exactly. So it's like one of those experiences where you can come in, you can build your own bong.
They had a
You
bunch of little shit in the middle, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And,
those big glass
yeah.
build-a-bongs that you have and shit.
We have hundreds of
Beautiful.
papers, right? There's just like even bowl pieces. We have
Yeah, do you
whole
have a favorite
cabinet.
bong in your collection?
Do I have a favorite bong in my collection? I absolutely do. I have a 16-inch Cheech inline tube that I use.
Oh.
And that one's a killer.
Okay.
piece, Yeah.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the culture's evolved in the recent years?
Definitely. I think it's definitely evolved.
Have you guys adapted to that?
We do our best to adapt with the change, right? That's one of the biggest things about being a business owner, and it's the hardest thing about being a business owner, is like I said earlier, is pivoting, right? Pivoting with the change and adapting with the market. That was one of the big things we felt that Rock Universe struggled to do, is they did it for a very long time, but as their focus started to divert it to a different business, they weren't staying up to date on the trends in their current business, right? And no matter what business you go to do, you have to be really focused on it. You have to really love it, and it's got to pretty much take up the entirety of your life, right? It's got to be your life. It's gonna suck the soul out of you, but that's how you make it the best business that it is because when people come to support you, they want to know that, hey, he knows everything about this industry. He's got the best prices no matter what. And if somebody does have something, he'll take care of making sure that he's
Without
figured it out.
underselling yourself, though, too.
Exactly.
I know as a bud tender, I feel that some of these shops pop up and drop like flies. And
Yes.
Because they'll only do the price matching thing. This is my own opinion on it. I believe that some of them are falling behind because they try and price match with some of these other places that sell at low costs.
Yep.
I'm not going to mention shop names or anything because I work at Ganja Garden, so I rep them.
Yep.
But there's other places that sell for a little bit cheaper. Makes me wonder if it's old stock or things like that, stuff like that. But then we got these other high-end shops that will price match with them. And then I feel that they undercut themselves, they lose money, and they fail.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate because at the end of the day, it's just medicine. It's a fucking plant. We should all benefit from it, one way or another.
So one of the things we try to do is when we're going into the market, we try to gauge what is the market currently, right? What is the economy at, right? Is the economy in a state where it's struggling, where people cash flow positive, are they healthy, right? And then another thing we try to look at is what are the other stores selling these items for, right? So example, if a product on the market, the average price on it is $45. We'll look at that product and we'll look at the market and we'll say, hey, what did this product cost 5 years ago? That same product that's $45 now, 5 years ago was costing $20, $25. So it went up by 100%. Right? It skyrocketed, it doubled, right?
Yeah, everything did.
Yeah.
So how can we take these things into factor and figure out a way to help not only our consumer, but grow our brand awareness? And one of those big things for us has been by changing the prices so significantly, so making sure that they're not $1 or $2 cheaper than your average store, so that we're having those problems of people coming in and being like, oh, can you price match with this guy? People just automatically come in and say, holy smokes, that same pod that I'm paying $27.99 at your store for, I just paid $40 for at the other store, right? So it's automatic, holy smokes, you guys are reputable, you guys have the best prices guaranteed without a question of how do we do it, or is a product old stock? It's not, because none of our stock is old, right? Everything's always fresh. We cycle through our inventory like there's no tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the biggest things is being able to, like you said, maintain that name and preserve it and not go below your standards while also giving people the best quality, the best prices, right?
Well, that's just what I feel too, like, because I mean, my experience as a tattoo artist, if you put your prices too low as well, then people wonder, what's up? Why is it so cheap?
Correct,
Right?
yep.
Like, so I felt like the pricing game was a hard thing. Do I mark up at 30%? Do I mark up 20%, 25%?
I feel like once you really get experienced in it, sometimes it's not about the percentage.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just about each transaction,
product,
right?
yeah.
Each transaction. That's one thing I really learned is it's tough in retail, especially for somebody, for example, me who wants to expand to having so many locations. You have to always have a corporate structure where things get sold at the price that they're listed at, right? But working behind the counter as an owner on a day-to-day basis, one of the things that I learned is if I'm there, I can negotiate the prices and I can make each transaction be different, and it doesn't have to be 10% off on this deal or 5% off. It could be whatever discount I'm choosing to give based off the transaction with the person and the conversation with the person, right? And that's one of the things is how do we now format that into a corporate structure where if we're expanding, how do we pass on those same deals that I would give on to the regular, to my loyal customers, now to the regular customers. And the one way is just having guaranteed best prices and beating everyone's price by a big margin of $7 to $10, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of our big competitive advantages that we've had.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
And then again, heavy marketing, right? So giving out stickers, keychains, all sorts of things, right? We're gonna be coming out with some crazy heat. Like you're gonna see some crazy marketing materials coming from us. We can't even really say too much about it yet, but some crazy things gonna be dropping soon. Yeah.
Right on.
What's one thing most people misunderstand about your business?
One thing that most people understand about my business.
I mean, I know you said people have come in thinking it was a window shop.
Yeah, that would be one, is someone coming in and being like, hey, do you sell windows and doors? And I look back, I'm like, windows, doors? And they're like, glass importing. And I'm just like, oh. That was one of the things that triggered the big, okay, we should maybe start thinking about our name changes. We had a lot of people in the last few years coming in and being like, hey, what type of glass do you sell?
Yeah.
And we're looking for this, but we sell bongs and stuff like that. Not drawing in the right kind of crowd that we've been anticipating.
If you could go back to day one, what advice would you give yourself on opening day?
Focus on customer service more than anything. That would have been my number one advice to myself is prioritize customer service, make sure that was taken care of before I started learning how to perfect inventory. Because you could have the best products on your shelf and you could have the best prices in the world. But if you don't know how to take care of your customers and you don't know how to talk to them and you're an asshole, nobody is going to buy that product from you. But if you have a shitty product and you have the worst products in the world, but you know how to take care of your customers, you know how to talk to them and respect them, some of them will hear you out. And some of them will at least come and talk to you and give it a shot and, consider you because of the fact that you just were so amazing to them and took such good care of them that it goes beyond the transaction. It goes to the relationship now. It goes to the fact that, they trust that person and they say, it may not be good here, but I know that this person will make it up to me in another way or take care of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's one of the most fucked up experiences you've had running the shop?
Honestly, things happen all the day, all the time. Sorry, we just had a robbery situation. Someone tried to steal t-shirts today. You guys want to see the video?
What?
Yeah, it was the funniest thing too. So this person, I was in a bong store. This lady who looked completely out of it, like she was on something, and she comes in and she's just like, hey, let me look at the stickers. So I'm showing her the stickers and everything like that, and we're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm showing her the stickers and everything, and all of a sudden she's just like taking her sweet time. She's trying to just take her sweet time. And then someone walks in the vape store, right? So I have to go over to the vape store and I have to start taking care of the vape store. And that's when she basically tries to strike her move here. So let's do this. So that's me working right over there. And then that's the customer right over there looking at stickers. And then we have sound in here as well. Where's the play button? Am I going blind? There we go. So you can hear the door opens, the front door. Customer goes in the vape store. Now, I could have been wrong maybe for the way I approached the situation. However, I personally think that it was pretty sketchy with the way that items were picked up in the video.
Oh yeah. As a store owner, you do what you gotta do.
Exactly, right? With other customers in the store, if I feel unsafe, I have to do what I gotta do.
Right, she's clearly on something.
Oh, she's all hunched over and shit too. Yeah. She's got shit.
And then look at that. So she grabs a stack of shirts without looking at the sizes.
You gonna put that shirt back?
I was watching through the camera.
I'm gonna take that shirt and I'm gonna have to take that shirt and I'm gonna have to ask you to get out.
Well, I'm asking how much.
I'm watching you through the cameras. I can see you running around trying to steal stuff.
Yeah, because my boyfriend wants to lost it.
No.
Yes, she says yes right away and then tries to change the story.
But I
Yeah.
need to buy.
No, I unfortunately can't do that.
I need
Yeah.
to. But I need
No,
to
I'll
buy.
need to take these guys.
You need. No.
You just grab a stack of these guys, and we're running to throw them in your bag.
But I.
And she's
No,
stuttering
I
too.
can't deal
Yeah,
with that.
it's.
Sorry, I have other customers in the store, so I have to attend to them.
So yeah, that was basically the situation right there. And so I just kindly escorted her out of the store. I was just like, you know.
Right. Don't blame her or
Yeah,
blame you.
So those
I
are kind
don't
of
blame
those
you.
are kind of the main situations that we're always dealing with is theft.
I think I know that lady too.
Do you? Oh no. Yeah. So it's always happening in our store. We got robbed at knife point last April.
Jesus.
I don't want to drop names of the individual, but
Yep.
it was it's always things are happening. Things are always happening in our industry.
I work right in the downtown core at my dispensary, and I
Yep.
night shifts a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So.
So you see it.
Oh yes.
We've had to create structures so if a certain amount of cash gets made in a day, employees have to call and come in. We
Cash
can't even
out.
put it in the safe anymore. Right? They'll come in, they'll unscrew the safe and steal the safe.
Yeah.
So now it's like, and it's such a small amount, so it's like, after 150 or after, like, the vape stores after $150. After that cash comes in, put an envelope, call me or the manager, they'll come pick it up and take it straight to the bank. Don't even keep it in the car.
Yeah, we
Not-
don't leave any cash on
You
premise
can't.
either.
There's no more reason to be leaving cash behind. It's too risky now.
Are there any upcoming collaborations or new products you're excited about?
As of right now, collaboration.
I know you guys got another vape shop opening.
Yes, so we just opened another vape shop. That is going to be under Prestige Vapes. So that's going to be the biggest thing. And then we're doing a franchise, right? So we're opening out a store in Ottawa. We have a franchisee selected already. And so that's kind of the main thing. No major collaborations with any major brands. We're working pretty heavy right now with Pop Box. So we've been distributing their product
Yeah.
pretty heavily.
They're decent. I like them.
They are. We did quite a bit of work with Tekashi 69 and his dummy vapes line. So that was
Okay.
something that we did a lot of work with, was distributing their
I
product.
didn't even know he had fucking
He
vapes.
does. He does have a vape, and we worked a lot with him and his vape line and trying to distribute that.
I'm
here in
surprised
Canada.
people are actually buying
Yeah,
his product
yeah.
for all the shit
So-
he's done.
So we're still huge on that.
Like I said before, though, it's not the person.
Yeah,
So like,
they
I
still on the
mean,
market?
there is
Yeah.
music.
We sell them in the store. They're one of our number one selling products.
I'll have to try them out.
Please come by. I'll
There's
make you-
music
Alright.
that I listen
Yeah.
to by people that have allegedly done things. I mean, I don't listen to Diddy, but I mean, I
Yeah.
listen to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking love Michael
Yeah.
Jackson's
Same.
music.
I love Michael
And I
Jackson.
mean, he's accused of things.
It's all accusations.
There's who did I mention on the last podcast there? That guitar player. He did a lot of weird shit, like transporting a 14-year-old for sexual purposes and shit like that.
Fuck.
But I liked his music. Right? So
I've
it's-
always said, you can always separate the artist from their music.
yeah.
Or
That's,
like-
that's
or like-
exactly what I do with Tekashi 69. Like,
Or that goes to business and personal, right?
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
or even with like how I look at with us and our employees is one of the things I think a lot of corporations fail to look at with their employees is, dude, of course, they're gonna work for you, they're gonna have they're gonna, have to work for you, do whatever they do. But at the end of the day, if you're expecting to build a manager, you're expecting to build a long-term relationship with employees, you have to understand that at the end of the day, when they go home, they have their own life, right?
Yep.
And they have their own passions and their own dreams, right? And you have to figure out a way to be able to support those dreams and for them so that they can support those dreams for you of where you want to go as a business, right?
Yes.
And where you want your company to go. And so that being said, you have to be able to differentiate between business and like the business and the friendship side of things. And you
Yeah.
have to really be able to master having both of them and separate both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because, well, I've always said too, like, you want your workflow to good, keep your employees happy.
Yep.
You know, if they're happy, they're gonna work their fucking ass off.
Yep. We go to pause for a second. Can you use the washroom?
Yeah, we can pause for a second.
Just use the washroom real quick. Take a quick break.
In all honesty, we want
It was just a piece of shit.
But I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it to roll the die? Oh, welcome back.
I think you just rolled.
I did just roll.
Yeah, you just did the last one.
There you go.
Two.
Two.
Two. That's a
Double
bomb. That's a bomb. Long toke.
Can I pass on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass
Yeah,
on
you
that
can
one. That was
pass.
gonna slap me. Yeah.
There you go.
Can I give that to him? To Carson?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
give it
you
to
go.
Carson. There we go.
There
So
you go.
Carson's got my 2 rips right now.
Mind if I smoke some sativa?
Go for it.
Or if you want to smoke some Kush cookies, just some Kush cookies too.
yeah. Where were we? I don't know. Random question. Do you have a favorite thing to do while you're stoned?
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna sound crazy, but I just work. Like it even bothers my girlfriend because it'll be like let's say we come home from work at 10 o'clock from the store, right?
Mhm.
And especially because now we have 2 stores. We're trying to or 3 stores, but 2 of them are separate locations. I'm trying to make her work a little bit more at one of the locations so we can, manage it and grow the other business, right? And so I can work, for example, I'll wake up at 7 in the morning, right? I'll go to the store, come home at 10 o'clock, right? So I've already been there for 15 hours, right? And then 10 o'clock we'll get home, eat some supper or whatever, take a shower, do our thing. 11 o'clock we're chilling, 12 o'clock we're chilling, right? Now we only have an hour or 2 before we have to go to sleep because we have to wake up again. Right? I swear to God, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, I am on my phone. I'm doing just some sort of work, just something. She's literally getting frustrated. She tries to watch movies with me, right?
Yeah.
And she'll get triggered because every 2 minutes, I'll open my phone, looking at new products, looking at emails, texting people, doing this, doing that. And I'll never run out of energy.
That's fucking relatable.
Oh man, I roll at 5.
Oh man.
Like when I'm trying to just relax and watch a movie, I cannot have my phone 2 feet.
Yeah.
But it has to be on the other side of the freaking room.
Yeah. So it's I just a workaholic, and it's kind of bad. Like when I say workaholic, I mean dude, sometimes I get so into it, I'll think I need to do something, and for example, the other day, I had to pick up the envelopes for I had all the envelopes for the store, right? And each day.
Yeah.
And so I had to go through it. And so I literally was so curious to get through it, I had to go use the washroom, right? So I took the envelopes with me and literally sat down on the toilet and started going through them. And I came out the washroom, my girlfriend was like, "Did you take the envelopes into the washroom?" I was like, yeah. She's like, "You couldn't just do it after?" I was like, "Honestly?" I was like, "Now I can open them. I put them in the computer already in the washroom, and now I could just open them." And she was like, "Bruh." She was like,
For all you people shitting on your boss's time, this guy shits on his own time.
Yeah, so I swear to God, I'll be I take my phone in the shower with me so I can answer it if my employees call, and when I'm sleeping, you can call me at 3 in the morning. I swear to God, test me. Tonight, 4 in the morning, call me. I'll be like, "Hey Justin, how's it going?" You will be like, "Dude, are you awake? What are you fucking doing?" You're like, "Why did you answer?" My
I'm just taking a shit,
Just opening envelopes on the toilet right now. Woke up, was bored, so just getting some work done. But seriously, it's one of the habits I have where.
So long story short, his favorite thing to do stoned is take a shit and do paperwork.
Ow.
What was that?
Freaking elastic band.
Yeah.
Are you into conspiracies?
No, I am into
Like
conspiracies.
aliens and UAPs and shit?
My girlfriend's convinced I'm an alien. So,
Yeah.
I'm not making she thinks my whole family is aliens because of the fact that I'm doing this at a young age, and she just doesn't believe it, So she's she doesn't actually think it, but she's
you do that shit too?
what do you mean?
Elon Musk has always been a workaholic and shit too. He's pretty rich now.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself.
I mean, I did say on one of our podcasts we should hook his nipples up to a car battery and probably get a lot of information.
I mean, that's some alien shit, I guess.
But I am into conspiracies. I do like them. I do love the stories that are out there. I believe them. Some of them.
Yeah. It's I was born in Peterborough, Ontario, and they have this thing, this siren on Armour Hill. Yeah. People have tried to say it's the wind that goes through the trees, but it sounds like there was a girl years and years ago that was taken up to the top of the hill and some nasty shit had happened.
Okay.
But now you can hear a little girl screaming.
So
at the same time.
sirens, they've been around since medieval
That's what I mean.
shit. They've been told about since at least they have some actual history.
Well, it's just
based
energy,
to
right?
them,
It's
right?
tormented fucking energy.
So that for me to believe a conspiracy theory, it has to be a conspiracy theory that's rooted in history.
That's valid. Valid.
Like, but all these like alien ones,
Of course,
UFO
yeah.
sightings.
So would
Yeah.
you believe in Draugr then?
I don't even know what that is.
Like,
Never heard of that either.
I don't know the real name. I'm using like the easiest thing. It'd be like they use them in Skyrim, but it's like in Old Norse mythology. It's like the ghouls, like the dead that never made it, that are kind of walking around and.
I don't know. Like again, if it's something that's rooted in
Because
history,
I mean that's rooted in history.
but like.
But I mean back then we used to rip our eyes out and burn
But, like,
fucking holes and color stuff.
Even like
Yeah.
like dragons and stuff like that, like the medieval flying, fire-breathing dragons.
I think it's just they were just spitting acid.
Yeah, but like again, like
In the words that we had.
all
back
these
then
all
was
these
fire.
medieval fucking
Yeah.
stories, right? They talk about they talk about these knights slaying this big foul beast,
Yeah.
like.
They were probably just big ass bearded dragons or some shit. I mean, we went through history. I can't paleo blah 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 or whatever the fuck it is. All the insects on Earth were like the size of my fucking house.
I watched
Yeah,
documentary. I watched
right.
documentary on
Crazy
that.
Right, so maybe
Before the
lizards
dinosaurs.
were that big,
Yeah.
and they did prove that like some dinosaurs were feathered and shit. So
Yeah. Well, actually,
it was flying around
on that
some
topic,
feathered
like,
beasts
with the big
spitting poison.
freaking, with the
Yeah.
big bugs and all that stuff. The documentary even showed like there were lizards like the size of like modern trucks.
Yeah.
So I see where that's coming from. Like it could have just they could have just been a very fucking big lizard.
What's your take on the recent UN quote unquote sightings and encounters?
Mm.
Like-
Yeah, like I
Like,
don't really know.
do you think there's? Do you believe there's life out there?
It'd be kind of cool for there to be like a
Hello?
it'd be kind of cool to think that there would be, that there is.
Yeah.
But I'm skeptical of it.
Yep.
Yeah. I
There's
get
all
that.
this talk about Martians, aliens,
so-
all that stuff.
Count.
Yeah.
I would have to see something
Yeah,
first,
yeah, of course. Just do everything normally and then just count the toe.
and
Yeah,
then,
and then
my
just at the
whole
end of the
view
day,
on everything
we'll
would
see,
change.
like, you know how
Oh,
there's supposed to
shit,
be a
I'm
balance
wrong
number?
about everything.
So make sure the balance number is what's on the
Like-
envelope, but then just make sure
Makes
that
sense.
the
I just
toe is
want
at
to see
2
like like the classic gray,
Yeah, so
the stereotypical alien.
so it might be like
Yeah.
under by $5, but just
Yeah, I get
just
that.
make
Yeah,
it
like-
round it to 1.
like I don't want. I'm not talking. I don't want to get like fucking abducted and probed up the fucking ass kind of shit. Like.
Yeah, I get that.
But like,
I get that.
I want to experience some sort of extraterrestrial
I mean, like, I want to believe.
thing.
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
I also wanted to believe we'd like been on the moon, but I mean, all of a sudden we didn't write down that technology. We just don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just
Or more like, technology was so advanced that they burned all the fucking info or deleted all the fucking files and shit so it wouldn't be leaked.
well, it's like the government's like openly now done so
Yeah.
much weird shit. Like, I mean,
Well, didn't they like?
Like the
Didn't like the
Manson-
government like?
Yeah.
Manson was a victim.
On
At
top-
the end of the day,
yeah.
like,
On the topic of the government, didn't the government like admit to like an alien or some shit like that?
at one point they were saying they knew of like, what was it, 24, 27 different races or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my take on the whole alien thing. In our galaxy, our form of life is fucking
Were we a TV show?
God. I'm having a brain fart now. Holy shit, we are carbon based. There we go.
Yeah.
But are we not currently right now moving into the silicon base?
I don't know.
Like the silicon age. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we're moving into AI. We're doing all this Neuralink shit. We're making
Yeah.
sex toys that talk back to us and shit.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
And they're talking about eventually the cell phone shit just being
Built
in us,
into you,
know,
yeah.
Like, yeah, like, now what if technology or like life in other galaxies isn't carbon based? What if it's some other material and that's its version of life, right? And it interacts and has its own things.
Mhm.
Like, I think that might be a better actual explanation
Yeah.
of what other life might be.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't be the only living thing.
100%.
No,
we can't.
there's got to be something else
Like,
out there.
considering like what that telescope saw, how many fucking galaxies?
Yeah, because
Hundreds
we're
and
not
hundreds.
the only
yeah.
galaxy.
Yeah, we're one little.
We've
star
only
that
ex-
lives-
we've only
Yeah.
we haven't explored all of our galaxy yet.
Exactly,
Like,
Yeah, we haven't even finished looking at our fucking ocean.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. We've explored more. Okay, this.
And Elon's like, we need to go back to Mars.
Mars, yeah.
Actually, we need to go to Mars.
I have a conspiracy theory
Crazy,
on that
right?
whole ocean thing.
Yeah.
And like, so
I don't think water's from this planet. I think it came
at
from
one
a different
point,
asteroid
right?
or
Yeah.
something.
They were trying to go, they were exploring as deep as they possibly could.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then they went. Something made them go, fuck this shit. We're gonna explore up instead of down.
Yeah.
What
I
the
remember
fuck
when that
did
was going
they
on.
see or find that
Nessie.
made them fucking
Nessie's down
stop?
Nestie's
And
down
like-
there. Why do you think the Irish
and like-
stopped searching?
Fuck, the creatures in the deep sea are already terrifying enough that they're glowing ass.
Yeah. You know what's funny? For years, I thought like, you know the anglerfish, right?
Yeah.
You know, the big scary ones are just the females.
Yeah.
The males are like these tiny little like tadpole things that
Actually,
attach to their body.
Well, actually, believe it or not, there was a female anglerfish that washed up on a
this
beach.
big.
That's so crazy.
I thought they were giant.
Yeah.
There was this. It was all over TikTok and social media about this freaking anglerfish that I guess she made her way up to the freaking surface,
I saw.
and this was a full grown female anglerfish,
it's only like this
and she
big.
was like goldfish size. So
Yeah.
all these photos
We thought they were
that we've
gigantic
seen
monsters.
of these anglerfish, no, they're just these tiny, cute little.
Yeah,
Fish
truthfully,
with a
was it
light bulb on
redfin
their head.
piranha or way more dangerous?
Yeah.
Way more dangerous.
Well, yeah, a piranha. They smell a drop of blood, they're going on it.
It depends. That's Mythbusters did a thing on that. Or one of those TV shows. A guy poured a bunch
River
of
monsters.
blood.
River monsters.
Guy got in a pool with a bunch of prawns.
Yeah,
and
that's
dropped
River
blood and shit.
monsters.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
If you could choose anyone from any time just to have a big crazy smoke session with, who would it be? And have to put work down.
Snoop.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's a big one.
I want to go visit his new dispensary he opened up.
You
in Toronto?
right now?
No, down in the States.
Oh, in
in
the States.
Cali,
Okay, yeah.
Of course, it's in Cali.
Burner is a big one with cookies.
Yeah, he's had a lot of shit popping up everywhere.
Yeah, Burner's a big one.
I do like his products. I tried to listen to his music. I'm not a huge fan. Like, I could listen to it. It's not one of those like, oh, this is shit elevator music.
I would smoke one with Elon.
Elon, yeah.
Elon's big one. McDavid. Connor McDavid. Oilers player. But he doesn't smoke.
Okay, yeah.
He probably doesn't smoke weed, but still just.
It doesn't matter if they smoke or not. They have to.
Yeah, McDavid for sure. Connor McDavid. Yeah.
You're a big hockey fan then?
Huge hockey.
Any other sports?
No.
No, just hockey.
Yeah, just
I want to smoke
Nice.
with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson would be
Tyson.
sick too. Tyson would be.
I've always
Well, like,
wanted,
and he-
I want to
and,
try
like,
his
and-
little cannabis ears that he had.
And everyone already knows Mike Tyson smokes fucking weed.
Yeah.
Like,
You would too. And to talk like that?
Justin, can I borrow you for more Kleenex? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, we completely understand. Allergy season's a
bro.
pain in the ass.
I get allergies real quick. Just gotta call my employee quickly. Hey, Mr. How are you?
Burn the evidence.
Pokemon animations.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I get like a funny Psyduck one. I just be like, Justin would fucking love this. This would probably make his day at work. He's pretty bored as shit. Next time I see him, I'll send it over to you.
What would be the ideal rolling paper for that top sticky gritty green?
I say something thin, not too thick, natural. Doesn't leave behind too much ash residue. Something clean, smoke.
Do you prefer a gray or a black ash?
Honestly, I don't really know.
No?
Don't really know. Yeah, no preference.
All I know
Do
is
you have a preference on that?
It used to be I wanted like a gray ash, but some of these strong weeds that I'm getting are like kind of darker.
Dark,
Yeah,
yes.
I remember everyone was like, oh, everyone wants that, you know, the white ash. The white ash is like, oh,
I want white ash with my hash.
Yes,
When my hash burns fucking black, no thank you.
exactly.
Are you smoking that blue one? That smells really
Yeah, I was
sweet.
smoking
The
bluegrass.
blue rat, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm a bluegrass kind of guy.
Oh, we do like a little segment, fun facts.
Yeah.
George Washington grew cannabis. It was America's first president. He grew hemp, which obviously we know is a variety of cannabis.
Yeah,
It
just
was
the
up
male
on
guy.
Mount
Just the male
Vernon,
kind.
and he promoted its agricultural benefits.
Huh.
Do you guys know who discovered THC?
No, I don't.
A guy named Raphael McCallum. He was an Israeli scientist. Discovered it in 1964. You can't overdose on cannabis, but you can definitely have too much. Feel sick or anxious.
Yeah.
A fatal overdose on marijuana alone is particularly impossible due to how it interacts with the human brain. Cannabis has a sibling. Do you know what that is?
No.
Hops.
Huh.
Hops, yeah. Which is, we all know, used in beer, but it's botanically related to cannabis, and they're both in the, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but the Cannabisaceae family.
Huh.
Because if you look at hops, they look like really tight little nugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marijuana, we went into this already, was once legal everywhere in the United States until it wasn't in the early 20th century. And it was criminalized basically because of political and racial shit. The jazz scene was definitely hard with the Afro-Negro thing and all that bullshit that was going on. Yeah. Cannabis produces over 100 cannabinoids, not just THC and CBD. We do got things like CBD, CBNs, CBG, things like that. Some animals like to get high, like dogs and cats, are definitely sensitive to cannabis. Some wild animals, like the reindeer, they go after the mushroom and stuff like that. Other animals seek out intoxicating plants. It's a little off topic. France is really sexually fucked up right now. A new study just showed that, I'm only laughing because it's so far. A new study shows that 1 in 10 people living in France are victims of childhood incest. So they're incest babies, 1 in 10. The city of love, isn't it?
That's
France.
wild.
Want to see incest?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, I can draw. I can no longer want to go to France.
Also, people that were complaining when they go to see the Eiffel Tower that they have to constantly step over dog shit. They don't really believe in picking up dog shit out there.
Sorry, 1 second.
That's rough.
That is.
Do you know what pugilistic pose is?
No.
So, when you're cremating a body, so when the body's being cremated, if it's done at the correct temperature, the human body kind of curls up into itself as if you're sitting, cross-legged with your head in your lap.
That's disturbing.
It's called the pugilistic pose.
That's disturbing.
Right? Sleep well tonight. Fir trees. We got those around. They can grow in your fucking lungs.
Oh.
A 28-year-old man went to the doctor, said he inhaled a fir tree seed. It then sprouted and started growing his lungs. The doctors couldn't figure out what it was, and they just thought it was a tumor. But looking at the scans, a tree grow out of him. Yeah.
That's insane.
It reminds me of the movie
They're
The
a fucking
Fountain.
pine tree.
Yeah, those things, man. Those can grow to you. You ever seen the movie The Fountain?
No, but I do
No,
know
I haven't seen that.
I do know the condo I
It
lived
has-
in
it
has
the
a
guy
bunch
from,
of these.
X-Men. Wolverine, he's in it. It's 3 different timelines, but it's all one of them's about getting the Fountain of Youth. At the end, this guy drains the sap at the Fountain of Youth out of this tree that he finds at the top of this beautiful waterfall and shit. And then, he becomes forever eternally trees those things start growing out of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So that was in a
insane.
movie.
That's insane.
That movie's a thinker too, like 3 different timelines, and they all have the same meaning and shit. It's weird.
Yeah. That's insane.
On this day, 1948, the U.S. performs an atmospheric nuclear test in Eniwetok Atoll. 1955, the U.S. conducted another nuclear test in the Pacific Ocean. This is all on today, but
Yeah, but just like long periods of time.
Yeah.
1962, the U.S. performs another atmospheric nuclear test on Christmas Island. 1965, the Chinese want to get involved. Instead, they have their own atom bomb explode. And then the U.S. performs another nuclear test in Nevada. 1973, I think the U.S. is finally like, shit, we've blown enough shit up in the atmosphere to know that we can maybe go up there. The Chinese just blew themselves up, so let's send Skylab up, which is the first United States space station. In 1975, again, the U.S. performs another nuclear test.
They weren't done.
Test site. We just gotta keep blowing shit up. America! 1981, the Space Shuttle Columbia returned to Earth after its first orbital space flight. This historic mission launched on April 12th. It ended on the 14th, and it marked the beginning of space shuttle programs, and it was the very first time a reusable spacecraft had been flown. It's the first time something didn't completely burn up.
Yeah.
So they write that down in history. Did we really go to the moon?
Yeah.
I mean, they say it was like, what, 69, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess this was 81, so
13 years.
yeah, like, I mean,
Lot can
You
change.
do the math, people.
Lot can change in 13 years.
right, you watch the videos, I do see air bubbles, like we're underwater. In 1991, 2 diesel trains carrying commuters crashed head-on, killing 42 people and injuring over 400 more in Japan. This was like the worst rail disaster since November 1963. It crash killed 160 people. In 1998, world-renowned vocalist Frank Sinatra, he dies at age 82.
She was 82.
And the same day, a few years later in 2015, another guitar legend, B.B. King, passed away at 89. Yeah. I think I talked about a few of these things. I fucked up my show notes. Oh, there we go. Current news. Scientists found potential signs of life. Here we go, some space talk. On K2-18b. It's a planet 120 light years from Earth. The study published in the Astrophysical Journey of Letters identified a molecule on K2-18b's atmosphere associated with living organisms on Earth. Researchers suggest that K2 may have hydrogen-rich atmosphere like Earth, a deep ocean potentially teeming with life. While the findings are significant, experts still caution against the premature conclusions, emphasizing the need for further investigation. The presence of molecules could indicate new chemical processes and the first signs of extraterrestrial biology life.
Huh.
Pretty wild.
Right? And then another study I came across, they're talking about alien life could just potentially be hiding in gases.
Yeah.
Which therefore being a different biological being, right? Like, they said we could find extraterrestrial beings in a gas on some faraway planets within our own galaxy, though. But it's going to be very unlike our own, according to the new study. The gases themselves have been relatively neglected as a possible place to search for like alien life, but it could actually be relatively easy. Apparently all we have to use is the James Webb Telescope. The gases themselves are called methyl halides. And on Earth we have the same thing, it's just fungi. And it's made up with carbon, and those things apparently have carbon as well that they can see.
Yeah.
So that could be life as well, forming even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, once again, we got something about Floridans. A kangaroo was found hopping down a street in St. Cloud, Florida.
How we go from alien to potential aliens to a kangaroos?
Yeah.
Because I looked up on the Googly search and this is what I get up. Yeah,
The sighting came about a week after a kangaroo wandered on to an interstate in Macon County. So kangaroos are all over the place in the US right now. The animal in that incident caused lengthy traffic delays and one collision before it was tranquilized and returned home to a petting zoo. So that one in Macon County. This other one, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said authorities are aware of this loose kangaroo in the area, but its owner still hasn't been identified, even though the state keeps records of all the kangaroos and similar exotic animals, and it hasn't been determined whether the marsupial escaped from the licensed owner. So it just jumped from fucking Australia.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
yo, I'm just going to hang out in fucking Florida for a bit. The boy ordered 70,000 lollipops on his mother's dime.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
A Kentucky woman said her son was playing with her phone during the weekend and secretly placed an Amazon order for Dum Dum lollipops. That's even better. Dum Dum lollipops. A total purchase of about $4,200.
Holy smokes.
The Lexington resident said on social media that she was shocked to discover 30 cases of Dum Dums on her doorstep, each containing 2,340 pieces of candy. Amazon initially agreed to return 8 of the 30 cases, so she started trying to sell them to other neighbors. And then later she updated that after a long day working and talking with the banks and a few news stations, Amazon contacted her and agreed to refund the whole thing. Like,
That's crazy.
it's fucked. I don't remember, did we talk about on the last podcast about the kid with butterflies?
Yes. It was in, the
Yeah.
title is literally, says butterfly junkies.
That's right, yeah. I'm gonna talk about it again. This kid in Brazil, this 14-year-old kid, crushed up some fucking butterfly and shoots it up in his leg. And then winds up fucking dying from it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because we still don't know all the crazy amounts of toxins in butterflies, right?
Right.
Like, we're still studying that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think they're from Earth either. Those and octopi, I don't think they're from here. They're probably like landed here from an asteroid or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy.
it's yeah, I don't know. I just said just weird things. I think about when I'm stoned. Whose turn is it to roll the die? We'll end it with one more roll of the die.
Let's do it.
I did cushes.
It's mine, eh? My turn. No, I just smoked the 2 bongos, didn't I? Oh no, I gotta smoke number 2 still. Whoever wants to roll is next.
Carson, you can fire away.
3.
3.
You gotta pick a victim.
You're gonna make him go hard?
As I'm in mid-dope.
Yeah, I'll pass it off to you.
What am I rolling? A 5.
5.
Another 2 bong loads. This is why I'm so stoned after these episodes. This dice game kind of gets the ball rolling.
It does.
It does.
Makes it fun.
It's the icebreaker.
Yeah.
We had one episode where I had a coworker on, and he brought some cups in.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a truth or dare that we threw a ping pong in. You could either take the truth
Mm-hmm.
or do whatever dare was in there. And some of those dares were pretty harsh. Like it was like 2 bong loads and 1 inhale and
Oh
shit.
shit, yeah.
One of them was chug a joint. I still got a joint. I didn't roll it, so
One-
I will chug it. At the
One
end
was
of
for
this
being
episode.
roll a joint in 30 seconds. I was able to
This
do
guy
that
rolled a
in
beautiful
8 seconds
cone.
on the
Damn.
clock.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I
Have you
don't,
ever
use,
been
I
to,
don't
like,
use
420
filters,
minutes?
so
Yeah, I've been to a few 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to like just exhibition shows and stuff like that. Yeah.
I need to go to like some big 420 expo kind of thing.
I feel like you would do well. You've been having like a little pop-up stand.
Like boots and stuff.
Had like a weed thing, yeah.
Yeah. And eventually we gotta get engaged and try different things. That's for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah.
I hate that we're still in the day and age where, like, I can do one thing. I can sell the cannabis, but we can't necessarily sell everything to help with the aid of smoking. We could sell bongs and stuff, but like, we can't sell the candles,
Yeah.
even though that does aid in the smoking and
Yeah.
right? Like, a lot of different things. Like, we can't sell certain merch and things like that. Where it's like,
You're selling all the stuff to smoke it. Why can't you sell the stuff
Oh,
to
the
smoke?
two smoke, yeah, literally, for
It's-
real, yeah.
It's, you know, I'm actually surprised that like my shop, we just got some chocolate mushrooms in. They're not like psychedelic ones out like lion's mane.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
microdoses.
Yeah,
But I'm surprised we got those in before taking window coverings off.
yeah,
Like, I mean, we can take our kids into a fucking liquor store.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that kills how many kids at
For
a young
real.
age?
yeah,
How many proms do kids die from fucking liquor?
yeah.
Have they ever died from a joint?
No.
I mean, like, the truth of you really dying from weed is like, what, some asshole's gonna drop a brick out of his plane and it's gonna click you in the head and you might drop the wrong way?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've overeaten from weed, so
Yeah.
I'm sitting there eating with the munchies. But
Yeah.
Dude,
I've
I
never died
freaking
from
wish
it.
some would a
100%.
brick would just a freaking
Yeah,
brick of
right.
weed would just fall out of the sky in front of me.
yeah,
That'd be a good day.
I gotta smoke this and then I gotta chug this joint. And I guess we'll eventually sign off here. It's getting old. It's been a while.
8:30 here, a couple hours.
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being on here with you guys.
We appreciate
you
it.
guys having me on. First podcast in the books, so hopefully some more from here
We
on.
appreciate having you out.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate the gifts.
That's like
Oh,
don't have the same
absolutely.
gifts that you do. We have little goodie bags to give
Absolutely.
everyone.
Thank
just
you
little
so much.
munchies in
No,
there and
thank
stuff.
you so much. We appreciate that a lot.
You want to
do
pull your
Oh,
timer?
Tyson Clipper, okay.
Yeah.
For me?
Pull out your timer here. I'm gonna try and chug this joint.
I love when my timer just automatically sets itself to 30 seconds.
We've done this so many times now. It knows.
Turn up the alarm volume.
Ready?
That.
Go.
Oh.
Holy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Almost.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you're like 80% there.
I failed this time, everybody.
Yeah,
Not
that's the
this
first
time.
one. That's the first time he's failed.
Oh no.
Holy. That's sativa. It's that tutti frutti. It's good
Yeah,
shit.
you hit that.
Holy. I'm crying from that one.
That looked epic.
Yeah, it's definitely a fucking bit of pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you for having me on. And I'm wishing you guys an amazing journey here. Keep grinding, keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
And appreciate you guys having me on here. And thank you guys for all the support. We appreciate everything.
Oh, we love your products, so
Oh,
thank you
thank
for
you.
coming on. Thank you for always sharing.
No, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
And I guess as we've learned to end this, because one of our guests never push grandma while she's shaving.
Never push grandma down the stairs.
Oh, right, yeah. Never push. I don't know where the shaving thing came from.
Yeah.
Never push grandma down the stairs. And that's a wrap.
Thank you guys.